Russ Clark with you at Mortgage One Studios. And see, Greg Wilkinson woke up
Yeah.
this morning.
Yeah,
It's
I
nice,
did. I
nice of you
woke
to
up.
come in.
Yeah.
That's good. I've been here alone. I talked to Derek the other day about the AM signal,
Yeah.
and he put the application. The application's been with the FCC now for a while, and they've just gone through the one phase of it. The one phase that I guess they've completed is they had to have a 30-day opportunity for people to object,
Oh,
to
okay.
write in and say, no way should these guys run stations or be
Yeah.
on the air or be visible.
Yeah.
Didn't get a single comment.
Yeah.
That was good.
That's. I think that's probably normal.
I think so.
Yeah.
I think
I'm
so.
still hearing music in the background, by the way. There you go.
I liked it.
Yeah. little background tunes.
So he felt comfortable and said, "Look, he's going to start putting the equipment together. He's got the equipment.
Okay. Okay. Good.
It's all he's going to get the engineers in and start working, getting that stuff put up, and
Okay.
and he's talking maybe the end of this month.
Oh yeah. Okay. That'd be
You
good.
know, that's hopefulness.
Does
It's
he have
hopeful.
does he have a tower site where he's going to put the
Yeah,
equipment?
yeah. The same tower was
Up on
being used.
Telegraph. Okay.
Well, no, it's
No?
down the street here on the canal, like 8th Street or somewhere around there, off the canal that goes east-west. You know, not the main canal, and then the one that hooks to it. It's just not too far from the main canal.
Okay.
Two big towers down there. At one time they were owned by the station, and they got sold off to a third party, and he's renting it from that third party, signing a lease with them.
Okay.
I guess that's better than building towers. They're massive.
Yeah.
They're not small things.
No, I've put up a few towers.
Have
in
you?
My time. Yeah.
Yeah, Dean's done the same. Dean, I talked to Dean
Yeah.
about it. He says he's been responsible at YPG for putting towers up and
Yeah. We
maintaining them.
put up the YRCS towers. Some of them.
Oh,
Anyway.
that's right.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's not a cheap endeavor.
No. Nope. They're not. They're anywhere from like 40 to 100 and something thousand a
Per
piece.
tower.
Yeah.
And
per
we
tower.
got two of them, but then it's the property too.
Yep. And you got to have a shelter, and you got to have air conditioning. You got to have power, backup power, all that stuff.
Right, and that's for the equipment.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's not a small thing. I was just thinking we just put a little tower on this building or something, like a
Well, you can, but then you can't hear it very far.
No.
But, yeah.
no, and there's a dish that was at the station that transmitted the signal to the tower. It was
Microwave dish.
yeah. He can't put that on this property. It's too big. The city won't
Okay.
permit it.
Okay.
So it's all going fiber optics.
Oh,
I kind of
okay.
like that better.
Yeah.
I do. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, it's a more reliable shot and all that kind of stuff. But yeah, he could probably get some
Aloe's doing
different
it.
frequency. Yeah. He could get a different frequency and different size dishes and stuff like that for different frequencies. But
Oh, okay.
but fiber is definitely the best way.
He was just going to use the one that was already available. But that didn't work. Didn't work out. So, which I think is blessing. I like fiber, but I don't care what it cost him.
It's not your pocket.
Money's no option to me
Yeah,
anyway.
there it is. Yeah.
On the disclaimer, all content presented on the Russ Clark Show, including statements made by guests, commentators, and callers, reflect the personal opinions of those individuals and is provided for informational and entertainment purposes only. These views do not represent the official positions of Mortgage One Studios, its owners, employees, affiliates, or partners. Mortgage One Studios does not endorse, verify, or guarantee the accuracy, completeness, or reliability of any statements made by third parties during programming. So you didn't say anything bad before I said that, did you?
Nope.
Well,
Nope,
okay,
I
we're in good shape.
Yeah.
You wanted to talk about Cena Kerr. Is
Yeah.
it Cena or Sina? What
Cena.
it is Cena.
Yeah.
Okay, I wasn't sure.
Yeah. Yeah. No, she was obviously she was a state representative and then a
she a
state
senator?
senator.
Yeah.
For our area.
Yeah.
Yeah. She was in 23, and she was very well respected, very well known, a solid head on her shoulders, and very calm. Didn't get excited about stuff, and she did a lot of good things for our area while she was in.
But well respected.
Yeah, and she represents other cattle farmers So
Now,
she's,
is she a cattle farmer herself?
Yes.
I thought that was it.
Yeah.
In fact, Helen was asking me about the other day, and I said, I think she's dairy. Was it dairy
Yep,
or
dairy.
cattle? Dairy.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep, they had a big dairy farm, I think in Buckeye. I think that sounds
I
right.
printed a report on it this morning. Still on the printer, by the way.
Yeah,
I'm
but
not-
she
I'm not-
was.
I looked at it.
Yeah, no, she was, one of those that was always available and would come down and talk to us anytime and stuff.
And I think good decision by Biggs. Now,
I do.
I mean, Biggs is more centrally located, and I don't know if he's in Maricopa or one of the surrounding. He's in the surrounding area.
Yeah,
one way or the
he's
other.
a little bit further east than she
Yeah.
is. Yeah.
Yeah, and and she's closer to Maricopa than she is Yuma. I think she was in our district, but she's in the
Buckeye.
rural part.
Yeah,
she's a rural.
Buckeye is, well, it's a huge
Yeah.
county, but yeah. Anyway, so yeah, I think it's a great choice. It's getting somebody with a level head that represents. I don't know if I'd say rural Arizona because I mean Buckeye's kind of rural, but kind of not. So
Yeah, but it's farming for sure, and
Yeah.
that's a great connection
yes,
into the agriculture, and she's well respected in that,
yeah,
and as well as having the background experience. Now I mean, she kind of retired. It's not that she lost an election; she just
no, she termed out.
and didn't go.
Yeah, and she didn't want to go
Flip.
back to the
House.
House.
Okay.
At one point, she told me she was considering running for board of supervisors or something
Okay.
like that. But that was, yeah, I want to say she's, man, probably 6 years ago, something like
It
that.
hasn't been that long. Yeah, maybe
Yeah.
6.
Yeah. But,
I liked her, but I didn't know her as well as some of the others. She's a little more quiet.
well, yeah, I would say she's a steady hand. Is that a good way to put it? That she's
Yeah, I mean, I knew Don Shooter a lot more. Yeah, which was honestly, I think he was really good for us. I mean,
Yes.
he was.
Yeah.
He was great. I really enjoyed him. He was not afraid as appropriations chair to say no
Yep.
and to look at the budgets. And he was hard line, hard nosed, but also just too loose with his tongue at times. I felt, but I mean, it wasn't like a womanizer. Married very happily, 36 years and all that.
Yep.
But he set himself up to get attacked, and he was attacked.
Yeah.
I don't think he did anything wrong.
No, I don't think so either. In fact, the night that he was accused of doing a bunch of stuff, I was actually there.
Oh, were you?
I was.
Okay.
Yeah. And Don and I talked about it a lot because I mean, Don and I were back when our kids were playing football at Kofa, and we worked the hot dog booth, together to raise
Sounds like
money.
Don, yeah.
Yeah, we had to raise money for the thing, and myself and Jack Strickland were the chairman of the booster club back then, and yeah, so I've known him quite a while.
Yeah, I mean, I've known him for a long time. He'd take me out to lunch, give me these conspiracy theories, long before he ever wanted to run for office or something, talking about, black ops and stuff.
Yeah. Well, and then, he after he, retired after all that crap went down that on him, he had that medical issue and
Yeah, he died.
yes, he
Twice.
died. He died twice, and they brought him back.
Yeah, and he said heaven kicked him out, is what he said. He said, there's no place for you here yet.
Yeah.
You got to go. In fact, he talks about that death experience that he has, memories of that spiritual memories
Yeah.
and stuff of being picked up and taken into the light. I said, well,
Well, at least he was taken into
yeah, I was
the
going to
light.
say that's not a bad thing, Tom. Taken into the light there.
Yeah. But we've been very fortunate to have a number of really good
Oh yeah, we had
representatives. We had
Montenegro.
Yeah, we had Russ Jones, we had Montenegro, we have Tim Dunn. Now we had now we have Dunn in the Senate and Carbone.
And Darren Mitchell
Yeah,
did great work for us. Carbone is doing great.
yeah.
Tim
Carbone's-
Dunn is like a seasoned veteran now.
Yeah.
He's really got his head in it.
Yes.
He really works hard for us and for the state. Yeah, we've been very fortunate. And Nick Cupper,
Yeah.
same.
Nick's doing a good job too.
Yeah, very straight, that guy. I mean, that guy,
Yeah.
He's the porn guy. They
Yes.
call him the porn guy, which he doesn't like.
You better explain that
He
now.
doesn't like the handle. He doesn't like the handle. He's very much a Christian faith and all that, and he thought the access to porn was obscene on phones and stuff that the kids have access to. So he passed a bill or got a bill started, got behind it, got it passed about access to porn having to prove ID or age.
Yeah.
In the state of Arizona.
Yeah.
You have
And
to-
the bill was to prevent children from accessing porn.
Right.
And rightfully so.
Sure, and he, but he told me, I was talking to him, and he says, yeah, and I was after that thing passed, I was really nice, and I was somewhere where somebody recognized me. He says, oh yeah, that's right, you're the porn guy, and they said that's not a handle, it's not the handle they was looking for,
Yeah.
and all that stuff. Poor Nick.
Yeah. But anyway, yeah, he's former Air Force and
Yeah.
retired out of the Air Force.
Well, he got
That's
out
good.
for one reason, and that was he wasn't going to take the COVID shot.
Yeah. That's right. I remember that now.
So he decided he wasn't going to fight that one, and left. Good for him.
Yeah. And now, of course, Trump and Pete Hegseth have reinstated everybody that wanted to come back. So,
Yeah, and there weren't that many really.
well, it's pretty hard, once you make the transition, and
Yeah.
and it had been a couple of years,
Uh-huh.
a couple of painful years under Biden, and then trying to come back is really tough, But some people do it, like Joey Jones. I mean, lost both his legs and went back into the reserves. And,
That's something else. That guy, I like him.
yeah,
I think he's been great for Fox News. He's really picked something he can do.
yeah. He's got a little bit of that, like Senator Kennedy, that Southern.
The Southern spun humor and
yeah,
all that other
not
stuff.
quite
and
as
common sense.
Not quite as
No,
much
not as colorful as somebody from the Bayou, but
Yeah,
but close.
Yeah, and he brings that rural hunter,
Yeah.
outdoorsman attitude to the station, which really helps balance them out.
And he lost both his legs in an explosion.
Right,
And I don't know how he
part of a finger too.
I don't know how how somebody survives that out on a battlefield, lose both their legs and get to medevac fast enough,
Yeah.
because that's not a small injury.
Well, they've changed. They've really improved battlefield medicine now.
Yeah.
They change. It used to be that they try to, medevac you back to the hospitals and all that kind of stuff, and they've changed that now where they put their treatment centers as far forward as they can, so they can do minor surgeries and all that kind of stuff to stabilize someone before they move them.
Isn't that what the MASH units were back in Korea?
Yeah,
there was
but-
a whole movie on that.
Yeah, but those are still
Further back.
they were further back. Now
Okay.
they do try to get as much treatment as far forward as possible, so they can stop bleeding and do all that kind of stuff, and before they transport them out. And that's why so many of the soldiers, I think, like in World War II, they would have died, but
Yeah.
now they're getting treatment and living. And of course, unfortunately, Joey lost both his legs, but
Yeah.
and he was an EOD tech. But yeah, so I think that's why you're seeing more of that now.
And he got right back to the military, which
Yeah, yep,
I would have thought he would have. I mean, most people wouldn't come out of that type of tragedy as together as he does. He kind of jokes about it. He doesn't hesitate to say stupid stuff on the air like, well, I don't have a leg to stand on when it comes to that or something.
yeah, I know.
I was like, wow. He's pretty comfortable with who he is.
Yes, yeah, he is. Wow.
And it's pretty amazing. Pretty amazing.
is.
He's come back.
Yeah, well, all those guys, because coming back from that, it's not a
No,
few month thing. It's
the mental
like,
trauma would
yeah,
be enough to destroy people.
multiple surgeries, and
Yeah.
and then just and he walks around and stands around. He hates stairs. So he hates stairs, but yeah, I mean, I watched him, and he was giving some sort of a rundown on election and stuff, and he was standing there, kind of, and I mean that takes some balance just to be able
Well,
to
yeah,
do
because
that.
his legs were lost above the knee.
Yeah,
So that's much more complex of a
yeah,
prosthetic.
yes, but he's got his whatever his steel legs, and yeah, I think he's doing a great job. And watching him being sworn back into the Marine Corps, he was a staff sergeant E6, and I was all I could just sit there and look at him and say, yeah, good for you,
Now,
man.
the money he's making on Fox News, because he really is a great commentator, and people listen. I think he's got his own show now, doesn't he? Does he
I
have?
don't know.
I don't know if
he's
he
got
does.
his- yeah.
I'm thinking like he has like a once a week show or something. But you realize that the pay he's making doing what he does now is so beyond the pay of the military. He didn't do that for money.
Right.
I mean, that may have been some kind of self-healing or some kind of proving to himself he'd go back. I don't know.
He's still got something to give.
Right, he does.
And, I think,
It's selfless.
yeah, having somebody like that give lectures and motivational speeches and
Right.
stuff like that.
And of course,
that's good.
Yeah, he's in the reserve or something, right?
Yes,
He
he's
didn't
in the
go
Marine
back
Corps
into
Reserve.
full-time.
No.
He's still doing his Fox News
Yes. Yes, he
type
is.
stuff. And he's wearing the uniform now. Not on Fox News, but he's wearing.
Yeah.
I saw him in pictures of the uniform and all that. I think that, obviously that's where he wanted to be. And speaking of uniform, military. This isn't military. This is about Smithsonian, which is a government program. The Smithsonian, and so you've been there.
Yes.
I've been there many times. I like it
Yeah.
a lot.
And Jacques Cousteau has a parachute. The Mayor Felicity has a parachute in the Smithsonian.
I didn't know that. And that's
Yeah.
where the mayor, just outside Yuma.
Yeah.
He's in his late 90s.
Yeah, probably going to have lunch with him either tomorrow or Thursday.
I know you stayed very close to him.
Yeah.
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 You
And,
like the French.
well, my wife speaks French. I know I learned a few words for our wedding ceremony, and that was it.
Oh, okay.
But no, yeah, he is the father of free fall parachuting out there at the center of the world in Felicity.
I remember when YPG put in that new air thing that
Free fall.
free fall,
Yeah.
which is a big air blast up. So you're not in the plane. You get a lot of time on the ground.
Yep.
In fact, a lot more time than you would in a free fall.
Yes.
To really practice
Yeah.
what it's like to free fall.
Have you done that before?
No.
I have.
I had the opportunity. They said I could go do it, and I said I'll do it later. And then I found out it just got so crowded. No
Yeah.
civilians can't get in now.
Yeah.
But he was there, and I mean, it's like the room stopped
Yes.
when he walked in.
So,
these
yeah.
people that are in the military, I mean, he was a god to them, man.
So Jacques, he and his partner Lou Sanborn. So he let Lou have the parachute license number 1, and he's number 2.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and so he instructed he had a civilian parachute. He taught people to free fall parachuting, which used to be a court-martial offense in the military.
He's told me about that story
Yeah.
about
but
they wanted to do that to him.
yeah, but he trained the very first Golden Knights, so he's an honorary Golden Knight. And of course, we know what the Golden Knights have been on to. And he trained all kinds of military people at the beginning when free fall parachuting was just coming in.
Right.
Into light.
And parachuting started off. I mean, it was just you jumped out of the plane and the parachute opened automatically. It was
Static
a
cord,
Static cord.
yeah.
You ran down and
And the reason the reason free fall parachuting was a court-martial offense is because so many people were breaking their neck.
yeah, that's not a good thing.
Snapping, yeah, it would snap and stuff. And Jacques invented a parachute which would help eliminate that, and that's how free fall parachuting got going.
The static line ones opened immediately before you picked up any speed.
Yes,
But they would have. Those are the type that I think would have broken your neck. Then is that what it
no,
was?
free fall.
Free fall breaks
Yeah,
your neck.
free fall. Yeah, because as you're falling.
No, I mean if you free fell with one of the old parachutes, it would have been more
Yes,
abrupt,
yes,
more abrupt.
yeah. And now they have that drag chute and,
Yeah.
and that all that other
Right.
stuff that comes out. But yeah, so he is known as the father of free fall parachuting.
Yeah, I've jumped out of a few airplanes, tandem and stuff.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
okay,
which we jumped out of 12,000 feet, and so free fall was a long time
yeah,
because I don't know when we opened chutes. So what, 4,000, 3,000, or
3,
something.
4,000 feet.
Yeah, something like that. So it was like taking forever. I said, man, come on, let's get down there.
Yeah, and of course we have a lot of people know Jay Stokes is from this area.
Oh yeah, he holds records, I think, still, doesn't
Yes, yeah, he was out there. He just set that record out at Felicity.
he? Yeah.
Yeah,
For the number of jumps in a day, or he
in
said,
24 hours. Yeah, I went out there and we watched part of it. We didn't stay for the whole
No.
24 hours, and of course,
didn't he have to do that a couple times? Didn't someone beat him and he had to go back?
maybe so.
Because I
Yeah.
donated a lot to that when he was doing.
Yeah.
I owned Napa Auto Parts at the
Yeah.
time, and
Yeah,
I helped with that.
and of course Jay was, Jay and Jacques are very close.
I didn't know that. But
Yeah,
that makes sense.
They are, and it goes back to the military and the things that, of course, the parachutists know about Jacques and Jay Stokes. Of course, taught the parachute portion of the course the Navy SEALs out in San Diego, and yeah, he set his free fall record right here. I don't know. I think Jacques maybe got the airplane for him, and then he had some.
Well, there was like 10 airplanes. I mean, it was a lot.
And then he had riggers, and yeah, he took off from the little dirt field there at Felicity, and
I had friends that were flying them, some of them, because they were just, as soon as he jumped on another plane, and
yeah, ran, grabbed the chute.
there was
ran
somebody
to the
else that
plane,
packed
and-
it for him and
Yep.
all that stuff. Yeah, it was a big crew.
Yes, it was.
Somebody to give him a coffee,
Yeah,
keep him awake for 24 hours.
yeah. And I don't remember how many jumps he did
I
in
can't
24
remember.
hours,
I
but
can't
it was a lot.
But he did do a lot. Now, I want to talk about Smithsonian a little bit. I don't know if you've heard that Trump is mad at the Smithsonian,
Yes, I have.
and there's been a lot of this thing has gone on for quite a while. I mean, he started getting engaged in as soon as he started the second term because of woke ideology, which I didn't know. I haven't been to Smithsonian in a while, but they've been changing a lot of the of what they're doing to display a lot of woke ideology, and pushing away from the founding fathers and from what it was designed to be.
Yeah, and it was going towards negativity towards
Yes.
our country.
Out and out negativity.
Yeah,
So I got this article out to kind of explain some of it. Smithsonian has 21 museums and the National Zoo. 157 million objects, of course, as they've collected over the year, including Archie Bunker's chair, I guess.
yeah,
Stuff like that. They receive their budget from the federal government is $1 billion, more than $1 billion annually in federal funding. That's outside the private side dollars.
Yeah.
And the $1 billion only represents 60% of their budget. That's a big budget museum.
yeah. It is.
So
Well, the museum's great, except when they started doing this crap.
I would think so.
Yeah,
Well,
I've been there
the
several
Trump
times.
administration started pounding him because over lack of patriotism, historical interpretation, and the role of the federally funded culture institutions. So they started investigating everything, and they were kind of like, they said, "Who cares?" I think Smithsonian, they get like, we don't have to listen to you. You'll be out of office in a while. Well, he launched an effort in March of 27th of 25 to root it out. He had an executive order restoring truth and sanity to American history, and that was just 2 months into his term. And it included the Smithsonian, but I think that was a big part of it, probably from the sound of it. The White House Domestic Policy Council and Vice President J.D. Vance had a role in the as a Smithsonian regent and reviewing Smithsonian exhibits and programs. By summer of 25, they kicked off an investigation of Smithsonian. Well, primary on the National Museum of American History. That's where they were really going after.
because it had gotten so bad.
Yeah.
Yes.
They were reviewing exhibits educational materials, strategic plans, and I guess leadership speeches. So there's a lot more. There's a lot more to the Smithsonian than just static displays. And they said they were prioritizing divisive ideological narratives and so-called patriotic telling of American history. And by August, they formally put Smithsonian on notice. They said, look, you guys are out of line. A letter to Lonnie Bunch, she's Smithsonian secretary, and launching the review. She said, turned over, they did direct them to turn over exhibit plans, educational material, internal politics, policies, other records, and on all the museums that they're using. And they wanted to ensure that we celebrate American exceptionalism and remove what the administration called divisive narratives. It also sets deadlines for document production, curator interviews, and on-site reviews, and it had to be done within 120 days. Surprisingly, it wasn't.
Yeah, I know they were pushing back on it.
Oh, big time. And then towards the end of the year 25, the White House just came out and said the Smithsonian isn't celebrating adequately the Americans' founding, which they've demonstrated or not. And even with the pressure from the president, they weren't going to change.
Yeah.
Which that's kind of arrogant. But they were criticizing museum handling because they hold no special Independence Day program in 25. Despite being open on July 4th, they discontinued the traditional Flag Day ceremonies and the planning of the 250th anniversary exhibits events. You wouldn't think there would be anything more important in the Smithsonian that's on American history to engage in those things.
Exactly.
So Trump is exactly right.
Yeah, he is.
Yeah. On December 18th, the White House says Smithsonian is not cooperating and tells Smithsonian Secretary Bunch in a letter that the institution failed to provide most of the records requested during the review. And review requested, exhibit plans and all the documents and everything, but they're not getting them. So the administration gives the Smithsonian until January 13th to produce the requested records and reminds the institution that federal funding must be used in a manner consistent with Trump's restoring truth and sanity to American history under that executive order. Mm-hmm. And in early 26, the White House conducted an on-site investigation into the Smithsonian and didn't like what they saw.
Yeah.
Yeah, because they didn't care what the president wanted.
Right.
Even though they're getting $1 billion.
Well, they're a woke. They became a woke institution.
Yeah. So they looked at educational materials, digital content, review plan, and everything, and they emphasized the exhibits were emphasizing restorative history, decolonization, immigration activism, DEI initiatives, and social justice.
Yep. Imagine that.
I think that's disgusting. I'm kind of like, how dare you do that stuff?
Well, it's all the things that happen underneath the Biden administration.
Yeah.
I mean, our education system, everything was kind of going in the toilet toward this woke activism, and and I mean it's in our schools, and of course it would be in the Smithsonian. The woke politicians and
yes, because that's all
trans,
bureaucracies that are just placed
stuff.
there.
Yeah.
Well, they had an exhibition commemorating America's 250th anniversary on May 14th, and they did put out Thomas Jefferson's writing desk, George Washington's uniform, Star Spangled Banner, and that was about it. They didn't have any new exhibits or nothing earth-shattering at all. Yeah. Just some of the old stuff that's always out there. So in July, they delivered the verdict. The White House, a 162-page Saving American story, has undergone ideological capture. The report recommended removing what it describes as political activism from the museum exhibits, restoring displays that emphasize America's founding principles, which they had taken out, mm-hmm. Their national achievements, the patriotic history, and the findings stem from the Smithsonian's review ordered by Trump's executive order. They did nothing, but they included images and exhibits and placards. Well, Trump ordered that they have got to put notices out at the Smithsonian and other places too, that how to get to the real information. They have to. Let me see. Trump, hours after report, Trump signs restoring trust in I'm sorry, trust in Smithsonian Institution exec, directing the Interior Department, Office of Management and Budget, General Services Administrator, and the White House Domestic Policy Council to use available authorities to encourage the Smithsonian to address the report's finding. He also ordered and instructs the National Park Service to install temporary signs outside the National Museum of American History, directing visitors to the report and describing the administration's concern with the museum's presentation on American history. And the administration says in an effort is intended to restore a more patriotic presentation of American history of the Smithsonian Institution, meanwhile, has long said its mission is to preserve, present the nation's history through scholarship, research, and public education, which they're not doing. They're changing it.
Yeah.
Well, so I was curious about what are these guys getting paid to run the Smithsonian?
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah, the guy that's in charge of it has a total compensation of $990,000 per year.
Holy crap.
Now, it's 60% funded by the government. And he's not the highest paid, by the way, but that's what he's getting.
Wow.
And it's 60%, but not the salary. To get around the caps that the government puts on salaries, because the government has caps.
It's like
You can't make that
300 or
much.
something. Yeah.
You know. So what they do is they say, well, the donations are paying the salaries. The government's paying for the building.
Yeah.
Or something.
Yeah.
So I looked at that, and over the last 4 years that he's been there, he's made like $4.4 million in compensation. Yeah, from 20 to 24, he made $4.4 million in compensation and benefits combined to run it. And there's other people on the salary, and they're getting around. It's a go around to the federal pay caps. So to get around it, Amy Chen, she's a chief investment officer, makes $1,157,312 base salary. Jeffrey Smith, the investment officer, makes $758,000. Moore Park, deputy secretary and COD, makes $627,000. Ronald Cortez, CFO, undersecretary for finance, $558,000. So kind of like some high pays coming out of these plays, all woke.
Yeah. Yeah.
All woke. And they get around the payment limits by saying it's not paid for by tax dollars. We're getting this from private donations.
Yeah.
It's a shell game.
Yes.
60% of that budget comes from the federal money.
Right.
And they're trying to get around. So I got some listings of some other famous museums, like the Metropolitan Museum of Art in New York. The guy that runs that makes $1.8 million, which is more. Mm-hmm. Museum of Modern Art, $1.5 million, which is more. But overall, those were the only two. The rest of them, it's like a $400,000 to $700,000 range. Yeah. So he's way beyond the norm. So I wanted to compare that to some other salaries of responsibility. So I looked at Pete Hegseth because he's got some responsibility.
Right.
Secretary of War.
Right.
$246,000 a year.
Yeah. Yeah. Secretaries.
He makes 25% as much as the guy running the Smithsonian that turned it woke.
Yeah, and he walked out on the job that was paying him close to $4 million a year?
More than that. No, well, it was $6 million over 4 years. $6 million or something. But he was on the increase. He was going higher and higher.
Yeah.
He was getting, and he walked out on that. I mean, he's done with Fox. I mean, if he leaves his position now, he may go back, I'm sure. But he got almost $1 million a year in just talks, public speaking.
Right.
They would pay him to go public speaking, and I'm sure that is going to increase after he gets done with this.
And I think most of the people on Trump's cabinet gave up money. They're making less money now being on his cabinet.
He's got billionaires on the cabinet that were making money, but the Smithsonian guy doesn't do that. I guess they figure that he's an exception running the Smithsonian. I wonder how many of those we have, though, that they put these federal caps on there that says if it's paying federal money, there's caps on salaries. Yeah. But they don't cap the Smithsonian.
Right.
Because they say, he's not getting paid by the federal. So is he he's not a private employee. Doesn't he work for the federal government?
I'm not sure if that's like a nonprofit or it may be a nonprofit since it's a museum.
It's paid for by the government. I mean,
Right.
it's $1 million. I mean, a billion. I'm sorry, $1 billion a year that they
Yeah.
pay that guy.
A lot of the federal that they put money into federal programs have things in place that prevent that, using other money and displacing. I'm trying to remember. There's a term for it, and I don't have it off the top of my head right now. But a term where you're supplanting. That's what it is, supplanting. So you can take federal funds and supplant money into your salary, and then you add private money to it, and that's not.
It's not uncommon.
Yeah, it's not uncommon. The NGOs will do that, or they'll get so much from the federal government, and then they'll get donations, and then they'll use the so much from the federal money, and then put private donations and pay the rest of the salaries out of that, and that's how salaries get out of control.
Tanya's asked me to talk about the fundraiser we're doing.
Oh, with Scott Jennings?
Scott Jennings coming to town.
Yeah.
And we're selling tables right now, and I like him a lot. I've been watching him on CNN, and he's like the only sane voice at the table. And
Yeah.
he just does tremendous. He's very patient, and he'll listen to the garbage, and then he just makes them look stupid, and all that. But she writes this. Good morning. So far, we have these candidates coming from Arizona Administrative and Public: Biggs, Kerr, Peterson, Colden, and Mike Prismic.
President.
Yeah, with the mines.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I was going to say I didn't recognize that one, but he's a state mine inspector.
Yeah.
Is that what he's running for? Okay.
Yeah. Well, he is currently, and he is also a candidate
Okay.
to retain, which is really good. And in fact, Tanya sent an invitation to my fact checker, Edward.
Yeah. You're
So
saying
Edward
that.
called me yesterday and says,
Yeah.
"What's this Scott Jennings thing? How'd you find out about that?
Yeah.
Because I didn't send him an invitation.
Yeah.
I could have, but I didn't. I said, look, Edward, I already bought a table. You can join me on it. Come on." He's checking his calendar, see if he can make it in. And I think it's a great deal.
Yeah. Well, Nicole and I will be there. So
Yeah, was that September 7th? Oh, does it say?
no, September.
Man, I can't believe I don't have that in front of me. Don't tell Nicole.
No, it's. I just bought the tickets too. So
Yeah, I did. I did too. I just bought a table, and Chris and I are going. My partner and of course Helen and Kara. But I told Chris, you get those other 4 seats to customers, which we're gonna try to do. Here we go. I think I found the sheet anyway. If my phone will open it. September 7th, 6 to 8, at the Elks Lodge.
yeah.
And of course, there's a chance to meet Scott and to get his book signed and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So a couple hours with Scott Jennings, and he'll be there a little early. And of course, Greg will be there,
Yeah. I'll be there.
which is a big deal. I didn't watch a lot of this. Maybe you did, but Spain has had an invasion of illegals.
Yeah.
It was kind of massive, kind of crazy. They're saying it was up to 80,000, but I've heard other people say it was even more. But it was just is all of Europe just being taken over by illegals?
Some of the countries are trying to come back now, but Spain is one of those that was going to declare amnesty. And as soon as they declared amnesty, this is what happened. And so they were floating across.
The Gibraltar.
Across the water. There's a place in Morocco, and I can't remember if it's an island that's under Spanish control or whatever. But they did those little blow up kids' toys, and they used those to swim across
Yeah.
the water to get there. And then when they got there, they just a massive just swarm just broke down the gates.
Well, and they started breaking into homes and just running down the street running amok.
Yeah.
Now, Spain, Spain's I guess getting overrun with some of this stuff already, and then you have another 18,000. Now, Islamic invaders, according to this article, are physically attacking the citizens. A total of 18,000 reportedly died so far, and the government finally deployed the military. And I had to read that again, 18,000? Now, not in the one day, but over time. It had to be over time. I don't know what that is. 18,000. And the invasion started when Morocco released 2,000 prisoners the day before. I guess they had to find a home. So they said, hey, Spain's letting us in.
Yeah. Well, that's the same thing Trump was talking about, that these countries were opening up their prisons and saying, yeah, we'll let you out as long as you try to go to the United States. And so,
and the Spanish prime minister just, I guess, was open to like no borders. Well, kind of like Joe Biden, no borders.
They had offered amnesty and stuff to, I think it was 500,000 that were in the country already. And as soon as they did that, that spurred another
craziness,
another invasion. Yeah.
But now I saw a report that said, the Spanish prime minister came out and says, "Well, we've captured and removed, 70, 50,000, 60,000, or most of them what they're saying." But some of the commentators are saying that 80,000 is way undervalued. It's way more.
Well, they had 500,000, and we talk about, well, God, how bad is this? How stupid is this? And then you look at our country, 20 million.
No different.
Yeah, it's like what is going through?
I said we were no different. We're different now.
Yeah,
but
what was going through the minds of these people that think you can do that and have a country that survives, letting 20 million people, and of course most of them go to welfare and
yes, or fraud.
Yeah, fraud,
or just straight fraud, or just welfare, or voting.
Well, that and people are like kind of shocked by that, but that's the Somali culture. I mean, that's what it's like. Somalia, that's what it's like. They're stealing, fraud, lying, whatever you do just to get money.
They had to think we're stupid. Like they get here and they see like, this is target rich guys.
Yeah,
get over here. No one's even questioning. You can steal it. They're good with it.
Yeah, and then the Somali refugee camps, they're having discussions about where they should go when they get to the United States. They say, well, Minnesota's the best place to go because that's where you can get the most money out of the NGOs and commit fraud and set up all these
Oh, really?
schemes.
That was well-known?
Yeah, well-known in the refugee camps. Yes, absolutely.
Let's talk to Gilbert real quick. Good morning, Gilbert.
Well, it all starts because you had a woke president.
Yeah.
You had a woke cabinet.
Yeah.
And you have woke people.
Yes.
And so
right.
that's what you get. My question, Russ.
Yep.
I don't know if you can answer it. And I don't know if Greg can answer it. Those people in the Smithsonian, can they get fired?
I think that's a great question.
The civil service workers, right?
Well,
they get a budget from America. And are they civil service workers to begin with?
No, because they're paid for by private funds.
But they get money
I don't think you can be both civil service and paid private funds.
Well, I know in Arizona that's illegal. It's a crime to do that.
So they're paid by private funds, and it's a game because they get 60% of all their money out of the federal government. And yet these people are not even on the federal payroll, apparently. I would think they could. And the Supreme Court upheld that Trump can fire people. That's amazing. You have to go to the Supreme Court to figure that out.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. So they can't. In other words, the commander-in-chief can get these people fired.
Well, he can fire people. I don't know if he can Smithsonian. I would think he does. I mean, we have to have some controlling interest.
Yeah.
Yeah. We got $1 billion. That's a lot of money. Oh, maybe not to them.
Well, you've got quite a few people making over $1 million.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. That's what I'm getting at. And that's how they got away with this wokeness BS. Yeah. And, they infiltrated. These people that are in there were educated by the woke professors.
Yeah. They're probably all
stand behind-
DEI hires, every one of them probably.
Right. I agree with that. So, that's why they're doing what they're doing in the Smithsonian. They're not teaching our history.
Yeah.
Well, I guess they are by saying, "Hey, this is wokeness." But that's on political. I was with Mr. Guterres Friday night. We went to El Charro, and you know what? A lot of people recognized him there. So that's good. That's a
Good,
good thing.
Yeah, he's having a debate coming up too, isn't he?
Well, he's trying to, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's trying to. And there's a lot of stuff going on with her. The fact that she's on video saying America is not a Christian nation.
Right.
And I'm just wondering how that's going to play out with our Catholic brothers and sisters.
Yeah.
Can you imagine that? So I hope we have a lot more support for him this time around. He's working his butt off, but I'm just hoping by seeing all the people that knew him in El Charro was pretty impressive.
Yeah. That's good. Daniel's a good guy.
Yeah, he is.
He is, and I'm just tired of hearing that position is not winnable.
Yeah.
I hope the GOP doesn't still feel that way.
Yeah. Yeah.
Anyway, and so how much are the tickets for this event coming up? I've asked that question. I still haven't got an answer.
I think they're $75.
I just had it out.
A piece.
Yeah. Yep.
75. Okay.
Well, that's for
when
precinct committeemen, right?
Yeah. And you go to the Yuma County GOP page to buy
Yeah.
tickets on.
Precinct committeeman, $75. General admission, $100. And
okay.
and a couple. If you're a couple, you get it for $180. Of course, if you're a precinct committeeman,
Precinct committee
better-
is
better deal.
75, so it'd be 75 for you.
And then if you want a table, you can get a table of 8 for $1,000, or a table of 8 plus some recognition for $1,200, and a premium sponsor table.
Yeah, I don't need recognition.
No,
Everybody knows you,
you
Gilbert.
create it, man.
And we're doing good.
But it's limited, and they're selling them pretty quickly.
Yeah.
That's good. That's
Yeah.
good. That's good. And this month, in August 15th, we are going to have Darren Simmons at our Izzy's breakfast,
Okay.
but which I'll be putting out a flyer for that later on. But that's who our guest speaker will be, Darren Simmons. All right, so thank you very much. Quite interesting, and I'm just shaking my head with the Smithsonian. And to me, that is one of our most important things that America has to showcase our history.
That's why it was. That's why it was designed and put there, man.
Right.
Exactly.
Yeah.
All right, I can go
Thanks.
do some more work.
All right.
Just in
Thanks,
rebound.
Gilbert.
Take care.
Bye.
Gilbert. Okay.
Bye.
So I looked it up here. The Smithsonian was created by Congress, is not part of the executive branch. It's governed by a board of regents, not by the president.
Right. So he can't fire them.
No.
And it's 17 members on the Board of Regents, I understand.
Yeah.
But it includes the Vice President of the United States, the Chief Justice of the Supreme Court, and members of Congress.
Okay. All right. That's who's on the board. Okay.
A Board of Regents, yeah. So they can fire him. And Trump might have some influence in those guys.
Yeah.
All hiring and firing and management decisions belong to the Smithsonian Secretary and individual museum directors under the oversight of the Board of Regents. So the Smithsonian Secretary, kind of like the operations.
Yeah.
Well, the Board of Regents can fire them.
Yep. That's right.
Say, goodbye, Mr. Secretary,
Yeah.
for making us woke. Yeah, it was designed by Congress to preserve the history of America. And then these clowns get it in a revisionist history.
Exactly. That's exactly what they're doing. Yeah. It's just like, you hit it with the DEI and the woke and all those things that they have a political agenda versus, historical representation.
Yeah, unfortunately. And it just has to do with who places them there during which administration.
Yep.
And I'm glad Trump's tackling it.
Yeah.
Trump doesn't seem to leave anything alone. I mean, he's not going to say, well, I'm too busy, I'll take care of it later. It's like, he's got enough personnel, he's got enough people. He's going to do it now.
Yeah.
I got 4 years, man. That guy's I don't know. I don't think he sleeps, but
I
and he makes
understand-
less money than the secretary that runs the Smithsonian.
Yeah, well, and he gives it away.
Yeah, he
He
does.
gives it away to yeah.
Yeah.
He that was a big deal that he would announce who he's giving it to every quarter in his first term, but he's not really being public about what he's doing with his salary too much now. I haven't heard too much about it.
I haven't either.
Yeah.
Okay, I've been on a health kick for quite a few years now, and I've lost a lot of weight.
Yeah.
Now, since I got AFib, and I'm blaming AFib,
Okay.
I've gained about 14 pounds back,
Okay.
so I'm fat again. I'm
You're-
working, and it's not 14 pounds of muscle.
Yeah, you're a fat cat now.
Yeah, oh gosh, yeah. Unfortunately, but I'm back putting a focus on it, and all that. So I thought I'd read something about a bakery that's selling donuts. It's my only outlet now.
Locale donuts.
That's it. No, there's no such thing. It doesn't exist.
Okay.
And this is a bakery out in the foothills, and it's the donut crowd. You familiar with the donut crowd out in the foothills?
I'm not out in the foothills. No.
I know, I used to live in Mesa del Sol, and I'd go in there, and they always had wonderful pastries that are not good for me right now. I need to keep putting that in there. But I didn't realize that Mennonite, it's a Mennonite bakery, which, those are the guys that live off the land and stuff,
Yeah.
kind of like the Amish, the
So
Mennonites.
what are they, like organic? Organic donuts?
I don't know, but I guess it's not doing all the chemical stuff probably, but this article says that before sourdough cafes became trendy and all that stuff. This Mennonite community's been doing this stuff forever. And I used to live more Amish, in Delaware, it was Amish and stuff. And they always had these kinds of bakeries and stuff and different, confections and stuff. I didn't realize the Donut Corral was part of that kind of stuff. It's a faith tradition and values simplicity, hard work, and quality. Well, should I break my diet, Craig?
That's up to you. That is
But
up
this
to you,
article
but
just wants to say it's outstanding out there, and it is out in the foothills, the corral, Donut Corral.
once in a while is fine.
But they do, yeah, that's what they say. That's why I've cut back on heroin. Some bread, this talking about just the stories of some people buy the bread and eat half the loaf before they get home and stuff like that because it's so good.
Yeah.
Well, good for you. Then you can go on a diet afterwards. But they've been in business for quite a while and doing a great job, and I hear nothing but good things. I didn't know their connection to the Mennonite community
Yeah,
at all.
I did not know that.
But maybe that's why they don't take any shortcuts. Maybe it's all fresh. So there, I give them a plug because I read it and I thought maybe you guys can eat a donut.
Yeah,
even though I can't.
You hadn't had breakfast yet, and you need to.
Yeah, I have.
Yeah. Okay.
But I'm documenting again. I'm back. Look, the only way I'm going to stay is if I write down everything. Otherwise, I lie to myself.
Okay.
So I write it down. I got an app on my phone that I put my weight down, and then everything that enters my mouth goes on there. So at the end of the day, I can say I did or I didn't.
Yeah.
Yeah. And if I'm not writing it down, I just kind of forget about that extra donut or something,
Yeah.
So I got to get back. And it was, during the AFib, and then after I had the surgery, I was out of the gym. And it's not that being out of the gym made me gain the weight. It was not going to the gym that gave me time to eat more.
Yeah.
I think that was it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I tend to do that if I'm just sitting around. I tend to grab something.
That's why I could
a
never
little bit
work
here,
at
a little
home
bit
because there's a
there.
refrigerator at the house.
Yeah.
It's bad for me. I have no discipline if I'm not watching it closely. Bernie Sanders and Fetterman have gotten into it a little bit. I guess they're on different ends of what they feel is right for the country, even though they're in the same party.
No, Bernie Sanders an independent.
Oh,
remember?
that's right. But he caucuses.
Yes,
with
and
the Democrats.
he 100% supports the Democrats.
Yeah, he's an independent caucus member of the Democrat Party. Well, I guess they've gone back and forth of criticizing each other.
Yes.
Fetterman, I think, kind of got it started when He said, you were the carnival barker for an accused rapist. And he wasn't in the room with them, but he was asked about Sanders.
Yeah.
Carnival barker for accused racist. You would have taken my advice since you and P. Hustle blew up the main race. Take responsibility and apologize. After you blasted the main race apart, you are in Michigan replicating it
Yep.
because he's supporting Abul El Said, another not a progressive. I mean, that's a socialist of America.
Yeah.
Democrat Social of America, self-described.
Yeah.
I know some people say progressive to kind of soften it. It's far beyond that.
Well, yeah, and what they're describing really is even more towards communism, and you try to draw a line between socialism and communism. You can't really. I mean, they're socialism. They use socialism to try to mitigate that they're actually communists.
Right, right.
It's a little bit like you're talking about progressive versus socialist.
And I don't know who actually wrote that. Was it Marx or somebody that wrote socialism as the gateway or the key or the step to communist? I don't know if it's him or someone else, but it's well recognized. There's very little difference between socialists and communists, pretty much the same values, especially the way that the socialists of America wrote up their projects and what plans they have.
That's way over the top.
It's beyond communist. I mean, that made people like Putin go, "Woo, wow."
Well, I don't think Putin even goes that far.
No.
Doing away with police, doing away with prisons. Oh no, Putin
Opening
does not
borders.
Yeah,
But more
Putin
than
doesn't
that,
support
changing the
that.
Constitution completely.
Right.
Get rid of the executive branch, get rid of the Senate,
Supreme Court.
the Supreme Court, all gone. And then what's left, the legislature that's left, will choose all those functions. They'll make it all up. They're responsible for everything.
Right.
All under one roof.
Yeah.
Because we don't need, and because they don't need voters or they don't need anything else. They just, we'll handle it for you. Go home and relax. And it's just like Nicaragua. Nicaragua came forward and says, well, we're done with voting. I'm going to win anyway, so we're not going to do it.
Yep.
I think that's what they're looking for.
Cuba, Venezuela. And,
Well, but Russia votes, but it doesn't matter.
No.
It's all rigged.
Yeah.
And everybody knows it,
Right.
including Putin. He loves that. He gets 96%, 98%. And somehow 2% of the population died.
Yeah. I know.
Well, but he's already imprisoned or killed the opponent.
Yeah, that's right.
So,
Or he sends them as a conscript to Ukraine, and
yeah. And Nicaragua just said, well, the heck with the game playing. We're not even going to play that game. We're not even having a vote.
yeah,
We know the outcome.
yeah.
And I think that's what this Democrat Party's looking to simplify things.
Yes. That's
So many bad keep stupid from happening.
they didn't want the voters to pick, so they picked Kamala Harris to
Yeah.
run for president, and now they picked the guy up in
Well, they also-
Maine to take care of the Nazi
They also picked Hillary in a way because they did everything they could to stop
Bernie Sanders.
Bernie Sanders in the
Yeah.
primary. They just stopped it.
Yeah, but look, you had a Nazi, you got all these communist extremists, and I mean, I don't know what's happened, to the. Obviously, I'm a Republican, but I don't know what has happened to the Democrats.
So the other day I went to go see the Tea Party meeting over at Brewers,
Yeah,
which was nice, and they had Michelle Pena there and Daniel Gutierrez and Ron, the new city councilman, David Lara
Ron
was
Van
there.
Wy,
Yeah,
yeah.
Ron Van Wy was there, and our new for the grade school council, was it Shara or Sarah? Shara?
Shara,
Shara.
Shara,
was there.
Shara Whitehead. Yeah,
Yeah, was there, and a lot of great people, and during the conversation and stuff like that, Connie Iribe, which I like Connie. I like Connie a lot. She does great work. There's no question. Sometimes we're going to disagree on policy, but she was commenting how the Democrats have it figured out, and we should be more like them. That they don't have so many people trying to get in the primary to win. They don't beat themselves up. They pick a person and stick with them.
Yeah.
So they just pick a person and stick with them. and they don't have to go to a primary and vote it out. And I said, well, and so I asked her a question. I said, so you think the Republicans should become more Marxist?
Well, you know, and I
And
was
she wouldn't
told,
answer it, you know.
yeah, I was told in the primary here, there were no, on the Democrat primary ballot, there were no choices.
Correct.
Yeah, there were no choices at all.
Connie was embracing that
Yeah,
because it gives a great advantage that you don't have to go through the bloodiness of a primary and have your, but
and you don't have to spend money. I think
that's
probably the
and or
one
spend
thing,
money, but that's our republic.
right.
Is we let the voters decide. We don't. The party just doesn't put one person and say that's it.
Yeah. And, you know, I totally support that if you have somebody on the Republican side that's a incumbent, is in office, and they're doing a great job,
Yeah.
I totally support.
But if somebody
not
wants to
running
run
somebody
against them, they can jump up in there.
Yeah, they
Nothing
can.
can stop them. The
They
party
can.
can't stop them.
Right.
The only thing the party can do is say, if you do this, there's a punishment, and you'll never be supported again, ever.
Yep.
I would assume that might happen. I've heard of such things.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, but we need to have an open debates and open talking. It's the
We do.
left that
We do.
doesn't. Look, Cobbs won't even have a debate with
Right.
Andy Biggs.
You know, to me, you know, she's done this now. She's just afraid to get up there to
Right.
speak what her
Because-
positions are because she'll probably pull a Joe Biden.
Yeah.
Yeah. And, you know,
Well, Joe Biden ran the same way against Trump.
yeah, he did.
Of course,
in
he's
the
still-
basement. He was in the basement.
And that got
remember?
him 80 million votes. That's the
Yeah.
most votes ever. It's still a record.
Yeah, and I don't think anybody.
You
believes
denier,
that.
you. You're just a denier.
I'm not a denier. I'm a realist. I'm a realist. You don't run from the basement and get that many votes.
Getting back, because I sidetrack a lot, but getting back to Sanders and Fetterman. Fetterman's been, less than complimentary about Sanders. So Sanders is on the news. Let me see. I don't know which one. Kristen Welker with Meet the Press says, well, my response to Fetterman is last time I saw it, he was reflecting the views of about 19% of the Democrats in the state of Pennsylvania, which I guess there was a Quinnipiac University poll out there that found 19% of Pennsylvania Democrats approved of Jeff Fetterman's job performance and 69% disapproved. I didn't know about that.
Well, more Republicans. approve of him.
77% said he's
Yes.
doing great. Shut up.
Yeah, exactly.
So his overall approval rate really was 48%,
yeah,
which is higher than most in Congress.
way higher. Yes, yes, absolutely.
That's kind of hilarious. I don't know how that's going to go for him when he goes up for re-election.
I don't know. You know, the big thing for him is getting through the primary. Getting through the primary is probably more of a challenge than winning in the general.
Maybe, but maybe 19% is good. I don't know. Maybe he'll still be better than the others after that. I don't know. And I think Fetterman's rational,
He is.
and that's what that scares them.
yeah. And, you
You're
know,
supposed to blindly follow, and that's
yeah,
it.
I'll go back when Fetterman was running. It was like, I thought, okay, this boob can't win anything.
I thought it was one of the more ridiculous things that went on.
Yeah.
One of the more ridiculous. You literally are putting a guy in there that has got brain injury.
Yeah.
I thought it was ridiculous.
Yep,
And then it did clear up. I was not a believer that it would.
Yeah.
And when it cleared up, he realized he was a Republican.
Exactly. Exactly.
But he's not changing parties. And he's stayed set multiple times. He's always asked.
yeah.
He believes in some of the democratic values of the past, not the current.
Right.
So I don't know where he stands or what's going to happen.
Well, he stands with the common sense people and not jobs
The
most of the time. I don't agree with everything he
No, there's a lot of
does,
things
but yeah, he is definitely I guess I'd put him center left, common sense person.
But when he talks, it's him, and it's not somebody that told him what to say.
Yes, exactly. He does not speak the Democrat talking points that they have on all
No.
the mainstream media, CBS, NBC, MSNBC, all those.
Well, the reason I like bringing this up is pointing out the disconnect within the Republican Party. I mean, the Democrat Party now. Many people, and like Connie had the other day, they have this impression that the Democrat machine is humming along tremendously well and dictating everything. Well, they're not.
No.
They're not. And yeah, they've gone through and gotten one person per party and one person running to so it's not as messy. But this Democratic Republic is messy. It is.
It is. It's always been messy.
It's going to be messy. Writing the Constitution was messy. But you're not going to take shortcuts by getting everybody out of the room that doesn't agree with me.
Yeah. Well, and that's what the Democrats are doing right now.
They're trying to, but now they've got different factions.
I know. I don't know how they're going to handle this.
I
You know,
don't
because
know.
a lot of their, a lot of their people that they've had in office are getting thrown out by these socialists or communists or whatever you want to call them.
But the Democrats have pointed out many times, or at least I hear this from the Democratic sympathizers and stuff, that the Republicans are going through a turmoil of infighting because of MAGA and the non-MAGA Republicans. I don't believe it.
No.
I mean, are there differences? Sure. Are there people that aren't 100% on board? Yeah. You got Mike Pence running an organization that's going to be more mild, and he got his butt handed to him in these last elections. I mean, he had nobody that he represents or polls for. That's a more mild version of MAGA.
I did hear him pop up on a couple of different TV channels, but I never heard anything about him or his candidate or what he was trying to do. It was just almost non-existent.
But if you look at somebody that's in the Republican Party that will say, "I'm not MAGA," okay, well, tell me the policies and things that you disagree with that are MAGA that you would not endorse.
Yeah.
Can they name one, Greg?
No, I think the only thing I think is about the Iranian war.
Possibly.
I think there's a split on the Iranian war, but other than that, I don't think so.
Or so you don't agree with MAGA, so that means that you want open borders. No, I like
No,
that one.
no.
Oh, so you don't agree with MAGA? That means you don't want integrity in our voting. Oh, no, I like that one. Well, Trump is smart enough that he has surrounded himself with populist ideals and to give the American people what they're asking for. And I grant you the Iranian war is caused a hiccup there in somewhat. But I find it necessary. We've been fighting it for 47 years. It's been killing people for 47 years.
I think it's necessary too.
Yeah.
And I don't think the division is.
And
the division is okay. Let's just
get it over.
blow them away and get it over with.
And I think that's his goal. He stopped again, by the way,
Yes, he did.
because of Saudi Arabia. And
He's
Qatar,
given them one
Qatar.
more chance because I think this was. I don't want to say this the knockout blow, but I think he was going to start going towards
All power plants, every
yeah,
single one of them.
everyone, every bridge, every power plant.
Yeah.
He's just going to take them all out.
And then they have nothing moves
Yeah.
in the country. Nothing moves. And we can do it.
Yes.
And he's already done some bridges and some power, but not what he's talking about. He's talking about shutting that whole country down, which he can do. And every time they mess with him, and he comes back stronger. They mess with him, he comes back stronger. Well, these last punch outs have been. I don't know if you've seen any of the armaments that have gone off on video, but it has been scary looking stuff where he's blown up more arms and stuff. I guess that he got to some shipments of missiles and stuff, some storage stuff.
Yeah.
That just blew up a mountain.
Yeah, well, I think they're probably, with the CIA or whoever else is in there, and I think he's probably getting a lot more cooperation from the Iranian people, to give him targeting information.
He's got
those
it from
kind of
all the
things.
neighbors now too.
Yeah.
All of them. I mean, what a difference.
Well,
You name it, United Arab Emirates and Qatar and Saudi Arabia,
Yeah,
Kuwait,
well,
Lebanon,
and some of those countries are actually getting involved in
kinetic stuff,
kinetic
strikes.
bombing.
Yeah,
And
like Saudi Arabia is with the Houthis.
yes,
And the idea right now, and Trump has added to, I think, his goals. His goal, of course, was to stop the nuclear
right.
and to keep the straits open. And now it's to cut off the proxies.
Yeah,
No more and Israel's big on that. I mean,
Yeah.
look, all the proxies are fighting Israel from different directions.
Yeah. When Hamas said they were going to disarm, now whether they do or not, I think we have to wait.
It was just stupid that they said that, but we'll see. Just like Iran said that they are agreeing to a memorandum.
Yeah, and I think I don't want to say this is the last chance, but I think if the IRGC or something attacks. Now I did hear an explosion on a ship. Hear about an explosion on a ship, but I haven't had that confirmed. This morning. But
Okay.
if Iran launches another attack, I think Trump's just going to.
Well, he's already stepped it up.
Yeah.
Huge. And this last one was a huge step up. And a step up on those islands in the Strait of Hormuz that were actually armed islands and had a lot of.
But if anybody thought that Trump didn't have patience, I mean, he's got more patience than I do. And I think I have a lot of patience.
And it wasn't his staff or anybody that told him to quit. It
No.
was the countries. And he's listening to them. And I think it's good reason to, because for Iran to stay on the straight and narrow, it's going to take the neighbors to keep them. We shouldn't be the police.
Right.
And he needs to have them engaged. He needs to let them know you're in charge.
Yep, exactly.
And
I think he's playing it exactly right, and giving them, I'm going to say one last chance, at the behest of all these Arab countries there. I support him. I guess he's got more information than any of us do, and he's got an amazing cabinet. I mean, his cabinet is probably the best that I have ever seen.
But we want out of it, and he wants out of it,
Mm-hmm.
and he wants to turn it over to these other partners that are already showing that they want peace. I mean,
Right.
places where we have military bases
Yeah.
in these countries like Saudi Arabia and Qatar and all that, we have bases there.
Mm-hmm.
We have cooperation, we have communication. Let them run the redoing of Iran and oversee it.
Yeah.
With us as a partner, and that's his deal. So when they say, stop, I guess he's listening. That's good.
Yeah.
That's good.
I think it is, and I support it, giving them one chance.
Well, it's been like six. It's
I know.
been more than
but,
one. But that's the way they work. They're just totally different.
But it's the other thing too is that they're not alone, is the way they lie about all this stuff. But the world now is seeing that.
Yes.
Okay, Trump offers them peace, and Iran starts shooting again. And then they say, "No, we want peace," and then they start shooting again. So the whole world is becoming aware of just what Iran is.
But he is not doing it alone, and he's telling people that the partners in the Gulf are the ones that stopped him.
Yeah.
That Saudi Arabia, and he's making sure he puts them at the top to let everyone know they're doing it.
Right.
And yet, and Iran says, well, we're going to talk, but not to the United States. We're only going to talk to Qatar and all this. Well, those guys have already said they're listening to Trump, that they're partnering with Trump.
Yeah.
So Iran is looking like they have no friends left.
Oh, I don't know if they do.
There's a question whether, that rumor came out that China was supplying 400 shoulder-fired anti-aircraft.
Right.
Man
pads,
pads.
yeah.
And Trump, apparently talked to them, and they denied it. But who knows? That doesn't mean it's not true.
Yeah. Well, they had them located that they're actually coming out of Hong Kong, which of course is part of China now. But they even know the factory that they came out of. So they probably did.
Those accusations don't come without a lot of backup on some real life information, not just speculation.
Yeah.
So something was happening. They may have got stopped, and who knows? I don't know. But I worry about those A-10 pilots and stuff, because I think the A-10s are going to be used very heavily in a lot of this new stuff.
Yeah. Well, so a manpad is probably only good to up to about 10,000 feet. So
Right.
a lot of the aircraft now with the precision munitions don't fly down low like
But
the
it's
A-10.
helicopters and A-10s that
Yes.
do, and they've been using those to route out some of those coastal boats and stuff,
Right.
because they can't do that from 20,000 feet very easily.
Yeah.
And the A-10s have proven to be like a big help. And I know they want to, and they're going to be shortly gone.
Well, they extended them again, but the ones at Davis Motham or Luke, whatever, Davis
Yeah,
Monthan.
Davis Mott. That's where my
Yeah.
son is right
Yeah,
now.
so
He's got-
those are the last one just left there, but there's still, I think, two bases. They have like 162 left or something like that, and they're going to extend the life of them. But I think it's a pretty big mistake
To what, extend them?
to no to
Let 'em go?
Let them go.
They're
Yeah.
so unique.
Yeah.
They can perform a function that the 16 can't and the 35 can't. I mean, they're totally different.
Yeah.
They were designed to go in low. They were designed as an anti-tank Russian tank type deal.
Yeah.
And tanks have become more obsolete. They're not.
Well, with the drones and stuff
Yeah.
now. Yeah, but so, and I was reading some posts. People don't really understand the A-10 and the mission that it does. There's a lot of misunderstandings. Say, well, the F-15E can take its place. And it's like, well, no, it can't.
Well,
The F-15E is not going to get down and dirty and close air support. That's not going to happen.
No.
But they have different ways that they can drop other munitions to kind of take the place of that, but it can't. An F-15E and a A-10 are totally different aircraft.
Yeah, I know. My understanding is if you talk to a lot of the ground troops and everything, there's nothing better than seeing an A-10 coming in when you're in a little bit of trouble.
Yeah.
Those guys will knock out your and they got eyes on. It's not.
Yeah.
It's
Well,
not from 20,000 feet.
yeah,
They're-
and the pilot sits in a titanium bathtub, basically. It's bulletproof
for
bathtub.
small arm.
Yeah.
Small arm.
And I mean, I saw A-10s come back with an engine shut off with only like 2 feet of a wing left.
But that's
And
the way they were designed.
I know.
They've got
Exactly.
backup.
Yeah, and it's like we were talking to one. And it's like it was all shot up, only had a couple feet of wing left, and the pilot was like, we're kind of declaring emergency to let him land and stuff. And the pilot goes, "No, I still have 2 feet of wing left. I think I can make it back."
Yeah.
I think I can make it back, and he flew the plane all the way back.
Well, no pilot wants to punch out
Yeah,
for a lot of reasons, and one is medical.
yeah, spinal compression.
Yeah, and you can only do it a couple times, and then you turn in your license.
Yes.
You can't punch out every weekend. A couple times in your life, and then
Yeah.
thank you for your service.
Yeah, the spinal compression from that is
Yeah, and they
significant.
don't want to risk all that stuff. What's the difference really? What you see between like a helicopter and an A-10? I mean, both perform close range coverage and stuff.
Well, the A-10 obviously is a little bit faster. The pilot sits in a titanium bathtub where, like the Hind has some armoring in it. That's a Russian helicopter, but the U.S. helicopters
Apaches and
don't.
stuff.
Yeah,
They have
Apaches.
plexiglass, and it's not going to stop much.
Yeah, no. And so I think that's the big difference. Helicopter obviously can go in a hover and shoot
But
a
they
lot
can-
of its munitions at longer range.
And they can cover. They both cover low ground and all that kind of stuff. But I think I'd rather be in the A-10 than the helicopter. I mean,
Yeah.
the helicopter just looks a lot more vulnerable. It can't get out of the way near as fast,
Right.
and
Well,
small arms can take it down.
Well, and the gun on the A-10 is amazing.
Yeah.
Depleted uranium rounds, which means the tip of that round is so dense that it'll go right through a
a
tank.
tank, yeah, like 4-inch armor, like
Yeah.
butter.
And that's what happened. It goes through the outer skin of the tank and then goes inside and fractures and bounces all over inside. I mean, if you get one round inside a tank, it's
done.
Yeah. There.
I was invited to the Goldwater range to watch the practice of the A-10s on live ammo.
Yeah.
When they were shooting some actual tanks that were out there, and they put me up in the tower out there at the Goldwater range, and first I got to see the F-16s come in, and they fired their 20 millimeter cannons, and
Right.
stuff like that, and they were kind of like, oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
When the A-10s came in and shot the 30s,
Yeah.
it scares you.
Yeah.
It almost,
Yeah.
I mean, it slows the plane down.
Yes.
They can only hold the trigger for a fraction of a second or so because it'll stop the plane.
Yeah.
It's got that kind. And these tanks got holes in them. They're like a 3-inch diameter hole goes in that thing. It just belts right through it.
Yeah.
Just amazing that we had tanks out there that look like Swiss cheese.
Yeah. Well, and I got to walk and drive along the highway of death there when we were there in the.
Oh, you did?
Oh yeah, the obliterations of the tanks and what happened to them after the convoy and stuff was engaged, and yeah, it was amazing. And of course, then afterwards, I found out it's depleted uranium rounds, and you shouldn't be walking around.
Yeah,
with
stay out
stuff.
of there, Greg.
Stay out of there.
Don't go walking around that
Oh
stuff.
yeah. Oh yeah.
Well, and that was a convoy.
Yeah.
And it was all A10s, wasn't it?
Well, it was eight. There was some other things in there too, because so it's a unique thing when a tank gets hit with one of the anti-tank rounds.
Yeah.
When it blows up, the turret tends to go straight up, flip over 180, and come back down upside down.
Yeah.
And you would be amazed how many tanks we saw with turrets
Sitting
upside
sitting
down.
on top of them.
Yeah,
Really?
go right back down on the tank upside down.
Of course, you don't want to be next to one of those tanks either in a
No.
convoy,
No.
because that explosion is going to take things out around it.
Right. Yeah. But
Yeah.
of course the highway of death was when the Iraqis were running and trying to pack everything up, and they were trying to strip. I mean, they were trying to strip fixtures and clothes and anything.
Everything
could
they
take,
grab.
Anything they could take.
Wow.
Yeah, they're just a pack of thieves.
And you know, in Iran, they wanted to put a convoy to go into Kuwait, and I was thinking about, you really want to put a convoy together? They start going to take tanks and everything towards Kuwait. I don't think they've ever done that.
Yeah.
But it wouldn't take much, because we have control of that airspace, and they just bring in the A-10s.
No.
That convoy would not exist.
Yeah. Well, and I watched the Ukrainians take out a Russian armored, I don't know if I'd say it, armored company attacking, and the drones were just like pink,
Swarming.
Swarming, just taking them out. One would attack. They said, okay, that one's dead. Then the drones, of course, have the camera would go after the next one. And then they actually have the drones that go after people.
Yeah, there's personnel drones.
Yeah. And it was just like,
And it's an artificial intelligence driven, some of them.
yeah. Because on the screen, it was actually identifying what kind of vehicle it was before it attacked it. And yeah, it's just amazing thing. I don't think I'd want to be a tank.
They're way ahead of us,
Yeah.
the Ukrainians.
Yeah. On the drones, yes.
Yeah.
And all the ground remote vehicles and that kind of stuff that they have.
And something, you know, and I read a story on it the other day about the Patriot missiles. We've used a lot of Patriot. The Patriot's apparently just a phenomenal system.
It is.
That has saved a lot of lives and saved a lot of damage. And we've got it, and a lot of our allies have Patriots.
Yeah.
So they're all over the place.
I went through Patriot
Oh,
school.
you did?
Yeah.
Did you
I
pass?
I did. I passed.
Yeah.
I passed.
Well, to pull the trigger on a Patriot missile is upwards of $3 million now.
Four. 4 million missile. Yeah.
So, and apparently we've used a lot of them recently because of all the conflicts going on. And Trump is having, who makes them now? It's not Raytheon, is it?
No, Raytheon made the original Patriot missile, Pack 1, Pack 2, and the Pack 3 was a version called E-Rent.
Yeah.
And it is, I think it's made by Lockheed Martin.
Lockheed Martin, I think
yeah.
is it. Well, they're pushing Lockheed Martin to step up production, and they're doing that. They're putting some money into some more facilities and doubling stuff.
Yeah, and they're going to dumb down the missile a little bit and make it for half the cost.
That's what they say.
Yeah.
And that's what I find interesting.
Yeah.
Is they're going to make it less than half, is what I read.
Well, so what they can do is less sophisticated chips and some of the reaction time. Because if you can imagine like shooting down a ballistic missile that comes in at Mach whatever, Mach 5,
Six.
6,
Yes.
whatever it is.
Yeah.
And the reaction time and the movement of a missile to react to trying to hit a target that's
But is
moving
it
that
really
fast
$1 million
is
chip? Here's what I'm
Yeah.
guessing. I'm guessing they see the competition, because right now the competition is Ukraine. Ukraine has devised stuff for $1,000 that does what a Patriot does in certain circumstances.
Yeah.
Certain drones and stuff you can take out for $1,000 instead of $4 million.
Right.
And they're selling it. They're selling it to other countries. Saudi Arabia signed contracts with them, and they put those on. And United States signed contracts with them.
Yes.
And we incorporated them after we took on Iran, and we started incorporating technology from Iran because we couldn't kept popping those $4 million things out there. I think they see the competition and say, we better get a little more right on this spill.
Yeah. And I believe you're right, partially,
Uh-huh.
but also if you can, like, let's say, I don't know, I'm going to go back to like a 386 computer or a 486 computer. You know, they both do the job.
Yeah.
The 386 isn't quite as fast as the 486.
Correct.
Or the Pentium processor stuff. So it's like an obsolete technology, but they still have them around and stuff. And so they use those chips and processors instead of the
Yeah.
top of the line. And so they can, because they're
So
not the latest and greatest,
well,
it's not as expensive.
My question is where's all the money? What is it $4 million paying for? What is it? Is it the casing? Is it the metallurgy? Is it the rocket fuel?
No.
What is it?
Rocket fuel. So rocket fuel is a mixture of basically, if you look at, the pencil on your eraser.
Yeah.
So the combination of chemicals that go in that eraser are the same that go into rocket
I'm
fuel.
gonna start being careful with my pencils.
Yes. And it's just mixed in different things. So solid rocket fuel is
Cheap.
generally pretty, there's been some improvement, but not much. And of course, the casing's a casing, but it's all in the electronics.
Okay. Yeah. The raw cost of that missile casing and the propellant and all that stuff is not expensive. The raw cost.
Right.
It's not expensive. It's right. It's pretty cheap. You can build it for a few $100s probably.
Yeah.
But it's the electronics. And you're telling me that electronics is worth $4 million?
Well,
$3 million? Is it the software that's worth all that? And I granted that is.
well, see, well, here's my theory. I did acquisition for the Marine Corps. I don't know if you can do that, research, development, acquisition. So software, it's really a cost recovery and a profit margin in there, because once you have the software done,
Yeah.
you got to put all that money in to get it to a certain spot.
Right.
And then you make improvements on it, but then you're recovering your sunk cost into it. And
Right.
then you're also recovering a profit margin on there. But, whether you make 10 or you make $1 million of that software package,
Doesn't matter.
it doesn't matter.
But here's what I think they're up against. They want to keep the gravy train coming. We're selling at $4 million. We've already recovered all our expenses and then all the good profit. But why stop now?
It's true.
I would think the mentality. Look at Microsoft is upset because their software. I mean, they don't have to update it every 6 months anymore. It's really good. I mean, you could run software from Microsoft 10 years ago. It's still good. So they've started doing subscription stuff and anything out they can
Yes.
because they can't keep selling software. Everyone's got it.
Yeah, and it's in planned obsolescence, but
Yes.
that's been going on forever.
Yes.
I'll give you one. The pulleys and the belts in the car.
Yeah.
Yeah, I hauled when I was driving trucks. I hauled car belts for Durkee Atwood, and they had a machine that would sit there and test how often a belt would fail. Right, and I picked up a load, and they were testing the failure, and they found out that this belt was like a super belt, and it didn't wear out, so they recalled them all because they have programmed obsolescence in fan belts, and that's 100% true. And so they can make a belt that will last 3-4 times longer, but they don't want to do that.
I think Lockheed Martin sees the jig's up. We got some alternatives coming out, and right now Ukraine is making their own Patriot from scratch.
They want to.
They're doing it. It's already started. I mean, they're not done yet.
Yeah.
But they're not doing it to license as a Patriot. They want to make independently from scratch their own.
Yeah.
And I would be very scared of that if I was Lockheed Martin. They may come out with something tons more reasonably priced.
Yeah. Well, and Israel is very well known for that too. They'll take one of our weapon systems and re-engineer it and make it better and cheaper. And Israel does that all the time.
But if Ukraine can make a cheaper Patriot and use the same launchers and the same everything and just make their own knockoff
Yeah.
missile, I think Lockheed's trying to get ahead of this. Yeah, we can do this for less than half.
They may be able to.
Yeah, I'll bet they can. I mean,
Yeah.
I think there's some profit in that company.
Yes. Oh yeah, there is.
I mean, when they sell a $4 million missile, What's the profit on that one? What do you think? They got
Normally, we would program in normally we'd program in 18 to 20% profit margin into acquisitions because, okay, going on the other side, when you're buying defense products, you want that company to stay in business.
Of
'Cause
course.
if they go out of
course.
business, you're screwed. 'Cause
Yeah.
then you got to pay for somebody else to make it. So
you got a great system, but you don't have anything to load.
yeah. So we would always make sure we programmed in at least 18% and usually 20%. Now, are some making more than that? Maybe so.
Or they
Maybe so, but that's
or-
like
or-
the minimum.
but they spend a lot so that they can say we've got real expenses.
Yeah.
Maybe. I don't know, but it's interesting, and I'm wondering where it's going because alternatives are coming in pretty quickly.
Yeah.
When the United States goes out and procures these these drone killers from Ukraine because they don't want to pull the trigger on those Patriots anymore, then Lockheed's got to pay attention and say, "Uh-oh."
Yeah. Well, and there are a lot of companies, starting up that are saying, yeah, well, we can make this and do this. And especially now that drones,
Yeah.
drones have become and with the implementation of AI, so a drone can be launched and truthfully, you can program it and put all the AI into it and it's autonomous.
Here's the scary part, is that could be turned on us really quickly, cheaply, just like Russia's getting it turned on them from the Ukraines, and the Ukrainians are kind of brilliant at it. That's their all full-time job. But it wouldn't take much for some terrorists in this country to go raise havoc at a Super Bowl.
Yes. Well,
And we're all aware of it. I mean, the military's aware of it, and they have some things that can stop it.
right.
But the technology on the drones is growing. Where you've got them now that are not controlled electronically. They're through the airwaves. It's controlled with a tether. A filament line.
Yeah, fiber.
Yeah, and that can go like a mile or two.
My understanding is that the battlefields between Ukraine and Russia are just full of fiber.
Looks like
optic
spider
cable.
webs.
Yes.
I've seen the videos of people
Yeah.
walking through it. It's just like
Yeah.
spider webs everywhere. There's so
Yep.
many of them.
Yeah.
It's like fishing line.
Yeah. And of course, the TOW anti-tank missile was, I think, the first wire-guided anti-tank missile.
They
But
were
now,
copper.
Yeah. Yeah, but now it's like
Fishing line
yeah,
stuff.
everything,
It's thin line.
and that's how you defeat some of these systems that like microwave systems that interrupt your communications and stuff. So
Well, and I've got a communication story here that is of concern, and it has to do with GPS,
okay,
and it has to do with the Strait of Hormuz. Now, the Strait of Hormuz, I've been tracking sometimes like how many ships are actually getting through, and I'm getting all these wild different numbers. Some of the traditional numbers that we get from how many, the counters, what they're doing is they're counting off GPS because they all have transponders. But because of the war, they've turned the transponders off.
Yes.
So those guys aren't getting good counts.
so they're not emitting anything, so they can't pick them up.
You can't.
Right.
But you don't need to because the GPSs are all scrambled anyway, I find out. So there's a lot of Iranian scrambling going on, so they can't count on the GPS. They'd be running aground. They're counting on radars.
Yeah. Well, the GPS when they first came out, they had a P coding on it, which was encrypted, and that's what gave you the most accuracy. But when they turned off the P coding, and so the GPS signal got a lot more accurate, and airplanes can use it and to land and all that kind of stuff. But you can still jam it. I mean, you can jam the GPS.
A lot of it. Now, this says that since the conflict, more than 1,100 vessels recorded GPS and AIS. What's AIS? Interference. I didn't look it up, but something to do with the same tracking. But in a single day, 1,100 vessels recorded interference. So, and the ships appeared on tracking systems at airports or deep inside Iran territory. So they would turn their systems on and they would be placed in the middle of an airport and it's a ship, because the jammers are creating false information.
Yeah.
A lot of it, it's not just jamming so you don't get a signal, it's implanting a signal and it's saying you're somewhere you're not.
Spoofing. That's
Yeah,
what it's called.
it's very-
Spoofing. Yeah.
Well, so they can't use them at the Strait of Hormuz and trust them. Well, you could run aground or something. So it's the world's busiest waterway, and they're going through radar alone, which they have to right now. and they're doing it with the help of the United States. I know through protection and radar and communications, and it's the satellite infrastructure of the modern world. We took it for granted, according to this article. It started in the 1970s when these things started coming out, these low powered, and the GPS systems, the global positioning systems, they are low power. It's not a strong signal that's coming out of space. It's a low power signal.
Yes.
So it's not much to jam it because you can just be stronger
Right.
and close by, and you're going to cover it. Well, the global aviation logged 4,300 jamming and spoofing incidents in 2024, 62% increase from 2023.
Yeah.
I had no idea that was that widespread.
Well, yeah, when I worked for CISA, we actually were in Cyber Infrastructure Security Agency at Department of Homeland Security in D.C. We actually had to look at, because there was some jamming being done at an airport. I'm not going to say which one here, under GPSs. And of course, the airplanes now use GPS to help land and all that stuff. And there was some jamming being done right here in the United States at one of the airports.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I've heard rumors that that's been going on.
Yeah.
But this says that it's easy to build a jammer. You can build from off-the-shelf parts for a few $100s if you know how.
Mm-hmm.
So that reliable navigation in combat to Rangers and all that says they took it for granted, but they can locate teams. They can do great things with radar, with GPS. But apparently that's all been compromised. We don't know if we can trust it. Let's take a phone call. You're on the air, Mad Mike. Good morning, sir. Well, I show that I have you.
Did you get the right one?
Well, I do. It's right here. Mad Mike, you're not registering. Let me check this real quick and find out what's going on. See if I can get anything else.
I'm starving.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can get South Park.
Testing South Park.
I tested with South Park.
Yeah. No, but the GPS signal, it comes in a certain frequency band. You can jam it just like you can jam any other type of signal if you have the right equipment.
Maybe. Let's try Mad Mike again. Are you there? Mad Mike, you there?
Yeah, I'm here. Having trouble hearing you, buddy.
Well, wait a minute. How about now?
Yeah, that's much better.
Okay. It was operator error. As always. What's up, man? How are
I
you?
was going to say, as per usual.
Yeah, that's normal.
All right. So I'm going to take you back in history,
Okay.
all the way back to your first hour. I didn't have a chance to call in earlier, but a couple topics came up that I wanted to comment on.
All right.
Let's go with the lighthearted one first. Like, did you ever go in to Dora Corral
Yes.
and you didn't notice the little beanies that the ladies wear and the
I didn't think about it at the time, but yes, you're right. I didn't recognize him as being Mennonite, and I just thought that was just for OSHA regulation or something.
Nah,
It's a hairnet.
not that little black cat.
Yeah.
But
So-
they're very good people, very nice.
Yeah,
and
they are.
I've had a lot of donuts and pastries and stuff from there, as well as used to do Grubhub deliveries for them,
Yeah.
but they cut it off. They got tired of it.
But that's why
And
my
you know what
pants
else they-
don't fit. But yeah, go ahead.
You know what else they do there that's really
So-
good is their breakfast burritos.
Oh, really? Good.
Oh yeah.
Well, we've given them a
Good
lot
stuff.
of plugs today, and they deserve it. I'm glad.
Yeah, they do. They're good.
Yeah.
They're good people. All right. So what's the difference, or at least my understanding, the difference between Mennonites and Amish people?
I don't remember. I've probably been told before, but
Electricity, right?
electricity.
There may be some doctrinal things. I'm obviously not a member of either faith, and only going by what I've heard. But the Amish are very strict. They're the ones you see on the buggies and horse-drawn carriages and whatnot. And the Mennonites believe in using technology, at least to a certain extent. They have
Right.
cell phones. They have ovens to cook their their donuts and stuff in, the cash registers, lights in their, electricity. They're a little bit more accepting of technology.
That makes sense. And I grew up in Delaware, and we had a lot of buggies and stuff out there. And when I first got my driver's license, I didn't turn my high beams off when I saw the Mennonite or the Amish buggy, and they flashed their high beams at me. They got high beams on those buggies. I nearly wrecked that car laughing.
That's kind of funny.
Yeah.
All right. Now let's switch gears to politics.
Yeah, man.
Talking about the differences between socialism and communism.
Okay.
I had time to Google it, and without reading you all of it, the main difference is the level. Communism is like to the end of the line. It's the extreme, or the all-in-one, where socialism is often referred to as being communism light. The communists believe in, the people own everything. There's no private enterprise. There's no investing or whatever. But then, you look at, well, who's managing it? It's, they have their Politburo, they have their elites, they have, the ones that are in charge. But they just call themselves, members of the people. They're just like everybody else. Yet we all know different classes exist in societies and countries all over the world, right?
Yeah.
And I was surprised that, well, I guess not so much surprised, but I always considered liberalism as just being, the commies in the United States, or our political spectrum. But the word liberal is more. I was always thinking people call them liberals, but they're not really truly libertarian. Well, they're not.
No.
The libertarian is another notch on the rung, and they got conservatism on the list, and it's just, it was interesting read. But my biggest thing was that communism is all in, the people own everything, whereas socialism is like state-sponsored ownership of factories and means of production and whatnot.
Yeah, there's small differences, but not. I mean, they're one and the same. They're both anti-capitalist. They reject. Yeah.
And I'll go ahead and throw in my LDS Mormon experience in here. They for a while practiced something that was called the United Order.
Mm-hmm.
And it didn't last long, but it was where, everybody threw in, everybody, put in the middle of the room or whatever. They were all, no one owned, whether it be their farm, their tools, their animals, whatever. It was all community owned, and didn't work out so well.
It didn't in Jamestown either. So,
no.
People die.
I think wherever it's been tried.
Yeah.
Communism, socialism, whatever. I think it comes from the adversary, and it's just the exact opposite of free enterprise.
These poor people that are getting behind it now think, yes, it's never worked, but we'll do it right.
Yep.
Human nature's not going to change, buddy.
I'll look for a funny meme I came across, and I'll send it to you on that.
Thank you.
Light.
All right, buddy.
But I'll let you two get back to doing. Oh no! I remember one more thing.
What? Go ahead.
What is the name of the place you're broadcasting from?
Mortgage One. It's
studios, right?
Studio. Well, there's a studio in the Mortgage One building. I mean, it's a mortgage business that Derek Egbert
All right. Well,
owns.
I think when you sign in, you talk about it being from the Mortgage One studios.
I do. I do.
Why you got 560 KBLU poster behind you on the wall?
Because Mortgage One, or Derek with Mortgage One, is buying the signal, and we should be back live in the next month or so. So
You're not
right now
gonna
it's
have the same-
nostalgia.
Gotcha. But, okay, nostalgia. But you're not going to have the same call letters, are you?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Well, I stand corrected.
Yeah. Yeah.
Good use of nostalgia.
All right, buddy. We'll bring it back
Have a
alive,
good
man.
day.
Thank you, sir. Bye-bye.
All right.
Yeah, that discussion with Derek was, talking about should we use the same call letters?
Yeah.
And he had some ideas of some better ones. And I said, well, did you check, see if they were already taken? All of them were.
Yeah. Yeah.
But KBLU, I said, look, we should just stick with KBLU at least for the first year anyway. And if you want to change it, you can always change it.
Right. YUMA.
Yum. It used to be that.
Yeah. Yum yum.
K-Yum.
Yeah.
Let me get back to these GPS not working and the jamming that's been going on, which could hit us more in the United
Yes,
States.
it could.
Like you said, there has been cases of it here.
Yes, there has.
Right now, in parts of the world, it's huge the amount of jamming that's going on, which is really scary considering airplanes and everything use it. We use a lot of GPS just on our farming and stuff. There's a lot of stuff
Right.
going on
Yes.
where it's self-controlled. Now, I don't know if this farming, which they put all these antennas up for this driverless tractors, if they're going to use regular GPS or they're using their own towers.
They use they use GPS for positioning, but the towers are to be able to get to the internet and that kind of stuff, so they can and
Okay.
for remote control tractors.
So the positioning is still going to stay right with the GPS,
yes,
which that could end them driving off the road if somebody's jamming or spoofing.
it could.
I'm curious how they're going to. I'm sure those are things they're already thinking about and we're already working with.
Yeah, and there's different things like that. So those towers are going to provide connectivity to all the different vehicles, and of course, when they get into remote controlled tractors, of course, that's how they're going to send commands to the tractors or whatever else they have out there. But yeah, it gives them access.
But their positioning is all
communications.
going to be GPS still,
Yes, yeah. Positioning won't come off of the tower.
just like our cars
Yeah.
are, and they're very accurate. But if you start getting spoofing and jamming in there, I don't know.
Well, and that's so, for 911 and position locating of phones and stuff like that, they used to do some triangulation off the towers, but well, you're familiar with that. Yeah, but it's not very accurate. I
No,
mean, you
but-
couldn't land a plane with that or do anything.
But
with
if you
that.
had it as a backup, and you'd realize real quick my GPS isn't working because they're not close.
Yeah, but I don't remember what the accuracy is, but it's not like feet. It's like quarter mile, half
Yeah.
mile, or something like that.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Well, there's another solution, and China's been working on it. China is upgrading their system to a low orbit type signal, not and a whole different deal where it's going to be many times more powerful than the GPS signal, and it's going to be like 100 times stronger than the GPS for these systems working in lower orbit, and they're already doing it, and so is a lot of private companies.
well, I think Elon Musk with his low orbit satellites, he's talking about terabits of transmission now, and his new generation of satellite that he's going to put up. I think he will have some of those capabilities.
Right. And get away from the higher orbit faint signal because it's too easy to spoof and too
Right.
easy to do. And apparently the United States government is looking at spending billions of dollars on it with the Space Force. But what they decided earlier this year, they canceled plans to do it because they can, it's already there from some commercial guys. You can rent it or, use that systems and help them expand that system for commercial, which I really support. Anytime
Yeah.
you can get some partnerships and stuff versus
Public-
reinventing the wheel.
Public-private partnerships?
Yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, they've already got these things up there, and so they're starting to look at those they call it LEO. I don't know what that's.
Leo, low Earth orbit.
Low Earth orbit. Yeah.
Yeah.
LEO. Sounded like a rock band.
Leo. Yeah. Leo the lion.
So these things will be more free of spoofing, and there's other private companies are doing. And it did not say Tesla they were working with or SpaceX. I'm assuming that's got to be one of them, if not the one they're talking about,
Probably.
because
Yes. Yeah.
they're the ones that throw all those satellites up there like crazy. And they know that when they throw the satellites up there, they don't have a long lifespan. Like it's not like 50 years or anything. So they have to keep replacing them.
Yeah. But, now SpaceX, they can throw, God, I can't remember how many
60 or something.
Starship
Oh,
puts
they haven't
up.
done that yet.
Well, they've done tests, and they threw out, I think, like a dozen or so live satellites,
Oh,
but that were only up there for a short period of time, and then to see how
Test
they
it.
would test.
Yeah, I remember that
But I
now.
think the Starship now I don't know, it can carry a lot.
Well,
It's
the-
got a huge payload.
Yeah, who knows? It'd be hundreds and hundreds probably.
Yeah.
At one time.
And so they can replace them pretty fast.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And cheaply.
Yes. And that's one of the problems with the GPS system, global positioning system, is that a lot of the satellites have been up there for a long time, and they only have such a certain lifespan. So,
Well, we can probably get into this low Earth thing much more quickly since it's already starting doing that. They also talk about the commercial providers are already placing production satellites. It's got to be Tesla they're talking about.
well, see, and that's why we need the spaceport here.
Yes.
And
well,
that's exactly what they want to do here, is put up satellites.
yeah,
here.
but not SpaceX. We're not going
No, not SpaceX, but they'll put up low Earth orbit satellites, because our location on the globe is actually more,
closer to the equator.
yeah, it's a better spot to put those up, and that's why the spaceport is looking to locate or having a spaceport here.
We still have somebody on city council that objects to the spaceport because we don't need to spend the money. It's not coming from us. It's private business. We're
Right.
promoting it
Yeah.
and telling people to come.
What's interesting to me is, whether you're talking about data centers or spaceports
Yeah.
or anything like that, it's like people are out there saying, well, I want you to get jobs here so my family and kids will stay here and they get good jobs here.
But not
So,
spaceports.
yeah, and then you go out and the city's like got this spaceport where they're going to spend a minimal amount of money on land that was given to them by the feds to bring in a spaceport to create jobs. And somebody's saying, well, yeah, but it doesn't create a lot of jobs. It's like, okay, but it does create jobs. And then you talk about data centers, and a data center and everything that China is trying to push that it uses too much water, we found out it's not true.
Yeah.
They bring their own power, and you're seeing,
Now they are. Yeah.
and you're seeing, different places where power costs are staying the same or even going down, and you're seeing where some of the data centers are paying their way, and you're seeing all different kinds of benefits for the community, property taxes going down, and and people just need to take a break and get some facts, and don't repeat what you see on the internet.
There are some horror stories out there where it didn't work out.
Yes, there are.
But that's not the rule.
Right.
But that lets us know to be cautious.
And that's why you need smart people like Doug Nichols, who's an engineer, to be there to craft those agreements, because it's all in the agreement.
And that's what they're working on now. That doesn't mean that we have, people keep talking about the data center like we've already got a contract with somebody. We
Right.
don't.
Yeah.
There has been discussion. I don't know with who, but nothing's been.
Yeah. And you talk like, okay, so you bring a spaceport, okay, so it creates so many jobs. Well, the rockets got to be assembled. The satellites have to be assembled. You have to get those in here, so you got a trucking industry, and then you have the buildings and the air conditioning, so you got construction, and you have all these little side jobs that come out of that, and it builds, and I guess the rocket's not 100% clean, but data centers clean, and if they bring in their own power, and they don't only need a small amount of water, don't need water at all, which we've seen some of them, people just need to take a break and not believe what the Chinese are getting people to post on Facebook.
They are
and
doing
kind of
that.
stuff. Yes, they are.
They are
And
doing that.
That's 100%. It's been confirmed. And there's a billionaire, I think, from Switzerland that's doing it too.
The answer to that is the research that our city's doing, that Doug
Exactly.
Nichols doing, and all that. And I know a lot of our politicians like Biggs and everybody saying, look, do the research, take a look
Yeah,
at it.
exactly.
You know, only put what's in your community that's going to be beneficial to the community. Now, I've had some, good Republicans come to me and say, Russ, why are you so for data centers? I said, because it's good business if it's handled right.
Right.
They said, well, how much can you eat it? No. Meaning like we should only support farming.
Right.
I think we need another leg to that stool.
Yes.
We love farming, and it's a backbone of what Yuma is, but it's not the only
Exactly.
thing.
And you can maintain that. The farmers way back when said, okay, we need to protect the land below the valley because that's where it's the most fertile, and that's grows the best crops. Protect that, and if we're going to build stuff, let's build it above the mesa, on the east side, because that's open desert and that land is not as
Well, that's what they're
productive
looking
and-
for the spaceport. And
Yeah,
stuff,
exactly.
stuff like that, and the
Exactly.
data center.
Yeah.
And it's far enough out of town that it's not going to be a hum problem. And I don't know where these hums come from, but I don't know any computers that hum that loud that outside the walls it's going to be like that.
No,
I don't know what
I-
that hum problem is unless it's got to be some power generator.
So the only thing I would say is don't repeat stuff you see on Facebook. I'm at a point where I believe about 90% of the things I see on Facebook and Instagram are false.
Yeah.
And I use different sources, ChatGPT and several of the AI programs that's the first thing I do before I.
And they're not
repeat
100%
anything.
trusted, but they'll push you in the right direction.
Right.
Yeah.
And, and all I would say is China is actively trying to program people against data centers.
Yeah.
And they're getting people to do that. But you need to know the facts. And again, it's all in the agreement. Can they be bad? Sure, they can be bad. Can they be really good? They can be really good. And so I would back off of, being 100% against anything.
Yeah, Nicole, and I just want to mention this before she gets mad at you. She wants to stress the point that the Space Center is a private enterprise partnership. It's
Right.
not the taxpayers cutting a check.
Yeah. And well, that's what we're talking about, public-private partnership.
Yeah, exactly.
I've heard that the city's talking about that they'll put in the concrete pad and then the private company would come in and do everything else. But I don't even think that's set. But, and it's not uncommon. It happens all over the country that you do like incentives or do something to get a company here to create the jobs that give the payback.
Every smart city does that.
Yeah. And we've done that here before. I did that when I
yeah.
was city manager, but you don't give away the farm and you don't give them long-term tax breaks. You do something to get them here. And then
Right.
you have the workforce, because that was one of the big things. Our workforce here in Yuma is great. They're loyal, they're hardworking, more so than a lot of other places in the country. And that's how that pitch is how we got the eggplant here. They were dead set. In fact, they had made the decision. They were not coming to Yuma. They were going to go up into Buckeye or something like that. And we got the owner to come here and meet with the mayor and myself. And the pitch that I gave them was, look, you can be a little fish in a big pond, or you can be a big fish in a little pond. And then we went into our workers, because we were able to demonstrate how our workers are more loyal. They don't jump for 5 cents an hour increase like they're doing up in Phoenix, jumping all over the place. And they stay. And in fact, many times the workforce we have here, that father and son or father daughter, mother daughter, whatever, will
Legacy.
legacy into a jobs and stuff. And so that's how you attract people and give them some incentive to come here. And then they help pay into your tax base, which helps your schools and helps everything you do and helps keep your taxes low. That's why you want businesses here like a spaceport or a data center to help keep your utility costs and your property taxes low. And that's happening in a lot of places around the country, in Georgia, and we need to take a look at that, at what's going on in Georgia and how they're eliminating property taxes.
Yeah.
Meta is building a data center, and they just said, yeah, we're going to give a $50,000 bonus to all the teachers. And, and so those things are happening. So you need to keep an open mind, is what I'm saying, and do the research like you and I have.
Oh, yeah.
And yeah, but I get kind of tired. It's like, oh, you hate data centers. It's
I know.
why?
But we have to put through it. I mean, people, they don't want to do research, some of them, or they hear something on a Facebook and that's gospel.
Yeah.
But keep looking. Oh, and one of my listeners was telling me what AIS. I didn't know what that was. GPS, we know, global
Yeah.
position, automatic identification system. It's maritime tracking.
Yeah.
Probably uses the same.
It's like the IFF system on airplanes, identification friend or foe system. It's a transponder. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, and that's been jammed, and they've had to stop using them. It's kind of crazy.
Well, it's because, I mean, it's a very simple system that can pick up like an IFF code because it's an active transponder. It's like pinging it, and it sends out the location and identification location. Of course, if you're trying to sneak through the Strait of Hormuz, you don't want people to have that, so you turn them off. Yeah.
And we talked about the Patriot missile that the Ukraine is starting to build their own. Listener put in that Trump backed away from a previous pledge to grant a production license. And I remember Trump said something about that.
Right.
So as he backed away from that. Meanwhile, a Ukrainian defense startup is developing a cheaper homegrown alternative anti-ballistic system named Freya. At least according to AI. I like that you put that on there. Just so we can be a little skeptical, but usually it's right. But
Well,
it's not always
I've
right.
seen some of the things that they've done, and they've done some really in the
Ukraine?
remote vehicles, remote air drones, and remote vehicles on the ground, and things that they're doing. It's
I think our defense system should be very afraid of Ukraine getting into this. They might do it for a fraction of the cost, which I guess means that they get the business to other countries from other countries.
Isn't there a saying about necessity is the mother of invention? I mean,
They've been inventing stuff like crazy.
yeah, and I think that's why they're
They're way outside the box.
Yeah,
And they have to do it on a shoestring. They don't have the money.
Yeah, and that's why I think they're getting into all these remote vehicles because they only have so much manpower, and if they can get a remote vehicle that goes out there and takes out, however many people.
Well, they've got ground-based robots. I mean,
Yes.
they're tank track type stuff too, but they've taken over at least one province or one city or something with no personnel, just remote, and the people surrendered to the remotes.
Yeah.
And it's been the first time in history they own it. Now you can't be the first. They're the first one
Yeah.
that's ever done that, which is just shows you where they are compared to us. And Russia is they're getting bloody from this technology that Ukraine has been doing. I mean, they don't have gas anywhere. Getting gas in Crimea right now is near impossible.
Yeah.
In fact, there's so much black market gas, it's destroying vehicles because it's like not compatible with vehicles. And people are buying it, shoving it in their vehicles and destroying engines.
Oh, wow.
It's a big thing in Russia right now because Ukraine has blown up so many refineries.
Well, I watched, there was a fuel convoy, and I watched Ukraine drones take out an entire, I think it was convoy of like 4 or 5 tankers, and it took them out one at a time.
Well, Ukraine has decided that rather than blow everything up, we'll just starve them.
Yeah.
The tanks don't do well without fuel.
No, they don't.
They don't. And so what Russia's done is they've cut fuel off from a lot of the population. There's no civilians allowed to get it because we need all of it.
Especially in Crimea. Yeah, there's nothing in Crimea.
They've blown up every accent. Now, Crimea is a peninsula. You can see it's a peninsula on the map. But on the north side of Crimea, it's all mostly swampland. I mean, it's all bogs. And now there's some roads that go through there and some bridges, but they've blown those bridges up. So you just can't go on the ground and bring a tank in. It's swamp.
Yeah.
It's cut off. And so they had ferries, which they've blown up most of the ferries. And then that one bridge in the south that connects it to Russia, which they've hit many times. I think that's still standing, but they're afraid to use it because if they put another gas tanker on that, they blow it up.
Yeah.
And that's how it got really seriously damaged the first time was they blew up a fuel tanker on the bridge, and when it did, that took out a span, and they had to replace it. It took them months to replace that span. So Crimea is in real trouble. But now it's St. Petersburg, it's Moscow, it's out in the tundra where they had some refineries that were like 1,500 miles away,
Yeah.
and they were able to get drones in there.
Yeah. They're even taking out wild berries, which I guess is their Amazon.
Yeah, and I heard a story on wild berries this morning. Apparently, they've lost so many warehouses, and that's what they're attacking the warehouses. They burn them up. And the reason, the rationale behind that, Russia's military was using wild berries as distribution because it was so
Oh, yeah.
well set up.
Yeah, of course. Well, we do the same thing.
Yeah, we use
use
Amazon.
UPS and
Does UPS
and
deliver to the
FedEx.
military base?
Yes, we used it in the Gulf. Yeah, FedEx and UPS and stuff.
Well,
yeah.
they decided, well, we're just going to take wheelberries out, and that'll take out their distribution of military. And then again, starving them again. You can't get your distribution. And they've blown up enough. And Wildberries is looking, I mean, they're pulling all their inventory out as they can before it goes on fire, gets on fire. They're looking for a place to put it. Nobody in Russia will rent them inventory space. And they've got empty warehouses, but no, because we know you're a target.
Yeah.
I don't have that much insurance.
Yeah. Well, that's one of the things that they went to quite a few years ago was called just-in-time logistics.
Yes.
So you don't have to keep it on the shelf, so you get it all like transported
They
in.
stole that from Amazon.
Yeah, I know. And the military was using that, so you didn't have to have these stores of huge spare parts and all that kind of stuff. But of course now, if you interrupt your supply lines, then what do you do?
Well, that's why they did it.
Yeah.
So they're looking, they're calling other countries to see if they can store their stuff in other countries. because they can't, it's not safe anywhere in Russia
Yeah.
right now. The Ukraine is able to get around all their defensive systems with these small drones. These small drones can take a fire, put a fire in a 500,000 square foot facility and take it to the ground
Yeah.
with a drone. It doesn't have to be a high, ballistic missile or anything.
Right.
Just throw a drone in there. It'll get a fire started. It'll spread.
Yeah.
Started in the in a part of the factory that has fuel.
Yep.
It's amazing what's going on, and we should be. And I look at it and I said, this stuff could be turned on us.
Yeah. Oh, I know. Well, that's what Department of War is looking at right now.
And
is
space.
How do you defend this stuff?
Yeah,
Yeah.
we should pay Hegseth more. He's only making $250,000 a year.
Well,
I get more running
yeah.
a museum.
I would say he's not doing it for the money.
He is not.
No.
He's doing it for the country, and he gets blasted.
Yeah.
Unfortunately. Let me see. He writes, both the A-10 and the Apache fire 30 millimeter rounds. I didn't know that. The Apache does? The Apache does not fire DU rounds. What's a DU? Depleted uranium.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
The A-10 does. The Apache uses an Apex round. Light armor. Hellfire missiles for heavy armor. Yeah, I don't want to mess with an Apache either. And he comments, the Smithsonian positions are paid by private trust funds, not federal taxes. And see, that's just a go around. The federal taxes pay for 60% of the total budgets, but not the salary, because then they would have salary caps. That's a workaround.
Yeah.
I know. Let's see. Wonder why the DOJ dropped the reflecting pool case. Well, Trump's mad about it.
Yeah.
Seems the pool repairs were inadequate. And I think that's something that they came up with when they trained it, that it wasn't just the sabotage.
Yeah, that's my understanding, that they felt that they could not prove that they had the Olympian bicycle rider or whatever he was.
Yeah.
They couldn't prove that he had actually destroyed a big piece, even though they caught him pulling on it and doing
Yeah,
some
he
stuff.
was filmed pulling on it. And he said he was just wanting to piece that was already cut away off or something.
Yeah.
Which I don't advise.
No.
He's been through enough torment. I don't mind him. He got him.
Yeah. I mean, I don't mind that they arrested him.
And I don't mind
all
they
that
cut him
stuff.
loose. I don't care.
Yeah.
He was really reaching in there. But I had heard that they felt like there was some things that were inadequate.
Yep.
And I don't know what that was. Speculation was that they filled the pool too soon. They didn't let it cure long enough.
Yeah.
I don't know if
Don't
that's
know.
true. I don't know if that's what they really ended up with, but that was a speculation early on that perhaps they were so anxious to get that thing going, they may have undone themselves.
Maybe. A lot of that's probably on the contractor, but we'll see.
And these guys are heavily experienced.
But I don't think they've ever done a project that big. I
No,
think
but
that's probably
they
one of
use
the
that
things.
technology though,
Yeah.
and somehow they screwed up. Potentially, we don't know yet.
Yeah.
Let me see, just make sure I covered everything on this low Earth orbit stuff. And merchant crews navigating the Strait of Hormuz by radar this spring use receivers roughly 15 years out of date. They're saying that we need to update the equipment that's in the boats, that's in the planes and stuff,
Oh, yeah. Well, and that's that.
because they're too easy to jam, too easy to fool.
Yeah, the Secretary of Transportation right now is trying to update all of our airports and our aviation traffic control facilities because they're ancient. You
They
know?
haven't signed contracts on that yet, have they? I keep looking for
I
it, but
don't know.
we're talking about such a major rewrite. It's so massive, and every airport would pretty much have to be done at the same time.
Well, I think they're phasing it. They're phasing it in
know
as
how you
what the
do that.
contract was. Well, you'd have to
have to
take
run dual
like
systems.
a section. Yeah, you'd run the old system and then integrate a new section, like they did it here at Yuma, where they built a completely different tower, and they used the old tower till the new tower was up. And yeah,
So we'd have to run double systems for a while.
probably.
GPS system and whatever they come up
Yeah,
with.
well, you'd make a transition at some
Yeah.
point, but yes.
Yeah, but until every airport was up to speed, you couldn't flip it and say this is the only
don't
one we're using.
Yeah, because you're still using some of the basic, IFF systems
Mm-hmm.
and that kind of stuff. So
Well,
I don't think it'd have to be a
And I had read that even older units can still use the system; it just wouldn't be secure.
yeah.
But I don't know. It's when they get done writing it all.
Yeah.
And then they'll do like Microsoft and say, yeah, your system's obsolete, get a new one. Boom, cutting you off.
Subscription. Yeah.
Well, that's how, because there's no innovation that's exciting
Right.
in Microsoft. I remember every 6 months, computers would come out with something wacky, bigger, better, wacky,
Yeah.
bigger, better. And that's been years since they've done that.
Yeah.
And
All they do is change the location of what it is so you can't find it.
I know, I hate that. Why do you do that? You get used to the way it was,
Right.
and now that button's been moved.
Yeah. It's no longer on this drop down, it's under this one.
I am
It's like,
seriously considering dumping Microsoft altogether
okay. Yeah.
and going for Linux. I'm hearing good things about
Well,
Linux.
that's been for a long time.
I know, but they're still a very small portion.
Right.
But they're apparently growing like crazy because Microsoft is getting stupid on everything's got to be subscription, everything's got to be forever pay, and you can't own it. And they have so much advertising and junk incorporated now that it's slowed all the systems down. And their answer to that is you got to buy a faster chip, a faster system, because that's the way it's going to be. Or Linux apparently is streamlined, like your older computer that's running real slow will all of a sudden run fast again.
Yeah.
And
It's the way you write your code.
right.
Yeah.
And I don't need a faster. I mean, I don't need a lot of the garbage that Microsoft's putting out now. I'm happy with having a word processor that works the same for the next 20 years. I don't care. I don't have to have it updated every year and put the buttons where I don't know where they are now.
Yeah. Well, I'm pretty satisfied, with the phone, and I don't want to replace my phone. The only
me
reason I'd
either.
have to replace it is because the battery won't stay charged for a long time anymore.
Yeah, and they took that option away where you can flip a battery out, change it.
Yeah.
You can't change it anymore.
I actually did open up an iPhone and changed out the battery, and I got it back together. Worked. I bought a kit to do that.
Yes,
Yeah.
you can, but you literally have to take the phone apart,
Yes, that's true.
and that's not recommended for most people.
Yeah.
For you, go ahead. You didn't destroy anything.
Nope, I didn't. It worked fine.
I've done it.
Mm-hmm.
You got to be careful.
Yes.
There's
I'm not
there's
sure.
a chance of breaking stuff,
Yeah, there is.
but if you take it somewhere, it's like $100
Yeah.
to put a new back on or put to do those switch outs. And it used to be simple because they made the phones where it come out in and out easy.
Yeah. And now they make it hard, so you have to buy a new
They
phone.
make it near impossible.
Yes.
And part of that reason was GPS. So you can't turn it off. They can always locate you.
Yeah.
Even when your phone's turned off, you're not out of the woods.
Yeah. My understanding, the FBI and those agencies can get into your phone even when it's off.
I think Edward can get into it.
Yeah. And that's okay. You used to be able to take the battery out and then the phone would be dead.
Correct.
But you can't do that anymore.
If you really want to be able to turn your phone to where nobody can get into it and you don't know, get a Faraday bag and you can buy them on Amazon.
Yeah.
And that'll block signals coming in and going out. Now your phone won't ring
Yeah.
because it'll block it completely, but you can put it in a Faraday bag and you can go do all your illegal stuff and they can't track you.
Yep.
If you're into that illegal stuff,
Yeah.
like ballot harvesting or something.
Yeah. There you go.
James Carville, he's gotten more fun lately.
Raging Cajun. Yes.
He is raging.
I think he might leave the Democrat Party. You
That's
never
what he
know.
says.
Yep.
He's out talking about it. There's this who is this far left streamer, Hassan Piker? Who is he? I'm not sure I know.
He's is it Michigan or Wisconsin?
He's up north somewhere, but
Yeah.
he's not a candidate or anything, isn't he? He's just a
Yeah,
I have to,
I don't think so.
he's just a voice or something, an instigator.
Yeah.
But apparently he makes a difference. Well, he says that he would leave. He says, I'm not going to stay in the same party with Hassan Piker. If he becomes a force in a Democratic Party, I'm out of here. I have no intention of ever being in the same political party as that guy. He's a self-described socialist streamer. That's it. I mean, he's just, I
Yeah.
guess he's got some attention. He's an influencer.
Yep. Exactly. He's a streaming political commentary. Yep.
Yeah. So he's a guy that is supporting the Abu El Said and some of those guys that are very, very much anti-capitalist, very
Yes.
much the socialist. And he's noted for saying that America deserved 9/11.
Yep.
And then he tried to retract it a little bit in an interview. He said, obviously, I did not mean America deserves the attacks, and he defended the viral quote, though, as a critique on U.S. foreign policy. I don't know if that's a apology or not. I don't think so.
But he's pro-Palestinian.
Very
and
much.
all that stuff.
And very anti-Israel. He's
Yeah.
anti-Semite and all that stuff.
Yeah.
James Carville says, I can't sit here and tell you for certain how this is going to turn out, but one thing I can tell you for certain. Hassan Piker and James Carville are not going to be in the same political party. One of us is going to leave. It might have to be me.
Yeah.
He's hilarious anymore.
Yes. Yeah. Well.
I
I
think he's entertaining.
He was a Marine, right? You know
Well, I don't doubt that now.
Yeah. No, he is a Marine. But I think he hits the bottle quite a bit now, I think. But
He's
I
not
don't
looking
know.
good.
Yeah.
And he's doing the podcast with low lighting, terrible cameras. He was just
Laying in
he's
bed.
He's his
Yeah.
own guy.
Yes.
He's purposely trying to make it as bad of an experience as we can.
Laying in bed with a USMC hat on and
Yeah.
all that kind of stuff.
And
But, yeah.
just tirades about, he's got Trump derangement syndrome. I'm glad of it. I want more of it.
Yeah.
He's really pretty radical. Piker recently has said Representative Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez is the preferred Democratic presidential candidate for 28.
Yep.
Yeah. And
Someone who's never passed a bill
right.
doesn't know where at
She's-
least half the
But she's
countries
great
in
on
the
social
world are.
media.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, bartenders are good good speakers.
Yeah. The Democratic nominee will be pro-Israel in any way. He wants to make sure zero chance of anybody being pro-Israel in any way. This is Piker. Wants to make sure you're anti-Israel. And this points out that the chair of the Democratic Party has a problem. That's Ken Martin. I don't feel sorry for him.
No, they've let this happen.
Yeah.
You know?
And he's been screaming about it a little bit, about
Yeah.
some of it.
Wow.
But he can't bash the socialist and he can't bash the non-socialist.
Well, they keep saying that they're Big Tent. They're a Big Tent party. Big Tent party.
That's
Pretty
recent.
soon they're going to be a no tent party because the socialists will take over and they will take no prisoners. And that's,
Now, I have said the Republicans a big tent party in a more gentle way.
Yeah.
Because we get some people says, well, if you don't believe that, we're going to kick you out of the Republican Party. And sometimes it's like a 90%.
right.
But because of one issue, they want to impeach you. And we've got that going on in Yuma. But it's such a small clan that it's not
Right.
It's not going to go anywhere.
What was it? Reagan said, if we agree on 80%, what do I call you, friend?
Yeah.
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 80% of what we agreed on. Yeah.
Yeah. But this cancel culture, which is much more on the liberal DNC side, has got some people on the Republican side that says, I kind of like cancel culture. I don't agree with it. Now, I mean, I'm sure there's going to be somebody harsh enough that's going to be in the party that's going to be really crazy that I'm going to say, yeah, okay, let's cancel that. Cancel. But I don't know who that is right now. But locally, we get people that get mad at you and call you a rhino because of one bill they don't like or something they're
Right.
an alternative to, and it's just kind of crazy. DNC's got real problems. I mean, the difference between socialism and capitalism is a pretty big valley. I mean, that's
Right.
big. That's huge. That's a crevice.
It's a big thing.
Yeah, and they're facing that and saying, well, we're just a big tent. That's not just a big tent. That's competing armies that you're going to put in the same room together.
Well, we'll see what happens in Michigan and Wisconsin.
And they
I
both
think those
believe
are
in
the
cancel
big
culture.
ones. Yeah.
And they can't cancel each other. They both wear the Democrat label.
Yeah. And I would just wonder how long that's going to continue. If the Democrats are going to get smart and
I don't know.
realize that the socialism
But
is not.
but if they cut out the Socialist Party, people that say, look, if you're part of this socialist movement, you're not welcome. Then they would have a majority on nothing, because there's enough of them that have become socialist that they would have a hard time being elected on a national basis.
Yeah. So, Nicole always talks about if somebody wants to, like, be a city, really wants to be in, they crave power and stuff. Those are not the people you want.
Right.
And so,
She's right.
yeah. And I listened to Senator Graham, the sister, Senator Graham. She goes, yeah, this is not something I ever wanted to do, not something I ever thought about doing. And she was working she was like a director for a organization that helped the blind there in South Carolina. She goes, yeah, I just never wanted to do this. It's not, and wasn't in my forecast of things I wanted to do. I didn't even think about it. Those are the people that you want elected.
Oh, yeah.
And so,
Like the Michelle Peñas.
yeah, exactly. That's exactly it. That's the way I see her, Senator Graham, as she's like didn't really want to do this, but she's going to do, and hopefully she'll get reelected there in South Carolina. But she's doing a great job, and she didn't want any of that. Doesn't like the power. She said, Lindsay is more involved in world politics and international issues and stuff. I'm not. I goes, I'm going to be, I'm going to help Trump on his agenda, and I'm going to be for the people of South Carolina. That's what I want to do. And I was very impressed with how she handled herself. Never been in politics before. Although I'm sure she hung around with her brother, Lindsay, a lot.
Well, it's her brother and her dad.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true.
She was adopted
Yeah.
by Lindsay because that was the only way he could take care of her.
Right.
Once they lost her parents.
Yeah. And when Lindsay came out here to Yuma, I was, he and I were kind of standing off to the side, and we were talking for quite a bit. I was was very impressed with him. He was just a down home guy.
McCain would bring him.
Yeah,
Yeah, quite a
Yep,
bit.
yep.
I mean, they were pretty close.
Yeah,
McCain and Lindsay.
they were. And yeah, but one of the events when McCain was out there speaking and stuff, we were standing off to the side, and Lindsey Graham and I were talking about different things, and he was talking about Yuma and comparing how Yuma was so much like South Carolina with the rural and agriculture and all of that. And so I found him to be really, really good person
Yeah.
to speak. Yeah.
Oh, I liked him.
Yep.
I want to talk about stealing somebody's mortgage or somebody's house.
Oh, yeah.
It's gone on a little bit now, and you can call David Laura on this, our
Yeah.
recorder, and he could put something, a tag on your mortgage or tag on your records, so if anybody tries to sell it, steal it, or whatever, you'll get a notice.
Right. And
That's free.
I did that.
Okay, good.
Yeah, I did that. And when we did a refi,
Yeah.
I got a notice. So, yeah, that's really a good thing that he did there. That was,
Yeah. That's a free thing. You don't have to
Right.
buy a company or get a company to do it for you. You can just go down to the recorder and get that
Yeah.
done. Smart thing to do.
I also have LifeLock and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
It's all of it helps just
Yes.
to make sure it doesn't happen. There was a recent one here in Arizona where a guy tried to steal a $1.6 million condo. It's so weird. You could steal a condo, but we know the address, so we can get it back. Not really. You can mess up the paperwork on the whole thing. A guy named Nathan Underwood, he's 26 years old, went into a Scottsdale property on April 17th. It's a luxury property, obviously $1.6 million for a condo. And he went to the building's concierge and says, "Hey, I lost my key or something." Given because he has the same name as the owner, Nathan Underwood. They both have the same name.
Oh, wow.
The other Nathan Underwood that owns it is a 52-year-old guy who lives in Nebraska, but he has a condo in Scottsdale, and along with his business partner. So the concierge gave the 26-year-old the key. I don't know where the key was. I guess it was hidden somewhere, whatever. And so the guy went into the property, stole a bunch of stuff out of the property, I guess, and then called a realtor and said, "I know this thing's worth 1.6. I'll sell for 1.3. I need the money. I want to go sell it real fast. I'll take 300,000 less than what it's worth."
Yeah.
I wouldn't have thought of doing that. He took $14,000 worth of clothing and decorative items from inside the residence. Well, he was arrested on July 27th, charged with second-degree burglary. I'm glad they got that anyway, and aggravated burglary and taking the identity of another person. His bond is at $10,000. I don't think it's high enough. And he tried to sell. I don't know how you do that when you don't have a title, a mortgage. The realtor, though, thought something was wrong with this guy. There were some red flags.
Yeah.
Do you know what one of the red flags was? Was when they first met, he called the realtor, and they met out in the parking lot. He's talking about selling the unit and everything. Never once tried to work out her commission costs. That doesn't happen on a $1.6 million
Yeah.
property.
Yeah.
He never said anything about the commission. So that made her skeptical right away. Like, this guy doesn't know what he's doing. He doesn't know this.
Yeah.
He had a registered LLC. He said there was the property's in the name of an LLC called Zella LLC. Well, the owner actually did have his property in a corporation called Zella. So he made a Zella LLC instead of,
Oh, okay. Yeah.
thought he was covering his bases.
Right.
That still doesn't give you a title somehow. I don't know. The way that the owner found out something was going on was he had a cleaning crew that goes regularly into the place, and on April 20th they couldn't find the key. The spare key was missing because the fraudster took it.
Okay.
Well, so the owner flew to Arizona, went inside the building, found out we've been burglarized. Got stuff missing.
Yeah.
And then they met the crook. Went to the homeowners association on July 2nd to meet with the realtor about the sale, and the realtor called a meeting. They photographed his ID, his car, his phone number, his driver's his car license, all that kind of stuff because they knew.
Yeah.
And they arrested him at the Bank of America with a meth pipe in his pocket. Go figure.
Okay. On a roll here. On a roll with the
Got a
cops.
meth pipe in my pocket.
Yeah.
And he when he was arrested, he tried to convince the detective, I'm not doing fraud. I get it. It looks like it very much, but yes, it does. But he was just arrested recently. Before that, 3 months recently, he was for aggravated assaults, pointing a gun at a man allegedly, trying to who was repossessing his Volvo.
Okay.
So he just pointed a gun at him, and he was released to a psychiatric facility. Guess he didn't learn anything.
No.
He didn't learn anything, but he tried to steal a $1.6 million condo. Poor guy in Nebraska.
Go big or go home.
Yeah, go big.
Yeah.
That's right. Water. We've got a pact with 7 states on the river water
Right.
here: Colorado, New Mexico, Utah, Wyoming, Arizona, California, Nevada. Now, some of those are really small players. Like Utah doesn't get much, or Wyoming and all those guys don't get a lot off the Colorado. The bigger players, Arizona and California. That in fact, Arizona, in Yuma, we got some of the oldest water rights.
Right.
Now, technically, oldest water rights are the most powerful. We're not supposed to lose a drop until they lose all of theirs.
That's right.
That's technical.
Yes.
It's not reality.
Right.
Reality, when we see there's a drought and they've been doing this, the states all get together and they all give up something to keep it going and stop it.
Right.
We've been unsuccessful to do that. We've been trying to do it for 3 years because there is another level of drought.
Yeah. Well, California doesn't want to compromise.
Well, it's not just California. It's the northern states too. They said they don't get much to begin with. We're not going to compromise.
Okay.
And California, of course, they live right on water. They don't care. They can pump it over from here cheaper than they can desalinate it. But
Right.
that's because they're using old technology.
Yeah.
You know, if they would upgrade the technology like Israel has an abundance of water now, and they sell it to other countries.
Yeah.
And the cost per acre foot is way down from where we used to do it. You know, like our desalination plant here is very old.
Yeah.
And would not be efficient.
I'm trying to remember. I think it used to be $1,000 an acre foot, and then the new technology dropped it down around 300.
Somewhere at 300-400 or something. I can't remember. I just read it not too long ago.
Yeah.
But still on the books, it's like 2,500, 3,000 if you look at the older technology, 2,500, 3,000, which gets to be pretty pricey if you're raising
Right.
broccoli.
Yes.
It's expensive broccoli.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, 300 to 400 would not be horrible. It'd be a lot more absorbable than going with no water.
Yeah. Yeah. Well. Yeah.
The question
It's still-
is, the Colorado's free water. Who's going to pay for desalination?
Right.
And that's the deal. But really, I'm wondering how much does it cost California to pump the water over the mountains per acre foot? I never tried to look.
I don't know. I don't know
It's
how
not-
much that is.
It's not free.
No.
If at one time I understood Tucson was a couple $100 an acre foot to pump it to Tucson. So I would think pumping it to San Diego would be more than that because,
would
it's a
think
lot more
so.
elevation.
Yeah.
So to me, it looks like it's getting real close to the desalination cost, and the pumping cost would be very similar.
Yeah.
So we should be able to make these moves, but nobody wants to. And California has an EPA that's ridiculous in that for them to do desalination, they need permits and all that, which is
Right.
fine.
Right.
Well, then they say, well, you're not allowed to dump your waste material, which waste material for desalination plant is they take the salt and stuff out of the water and then just put the salt back in the ocean.
Right.
And they say, well, we can't absorb that much salt in the ocean. You can't do that. They've got limitations on that somehow in California, that they think it messes things up. Until we figure that out, I guess they can't. I don't know what
They're
California.
not going to let them do desal.
They do some.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's some desal over there. I don't know where the barriers are and where the limits are and all that stuff. But
But I heard they're trying to strike a deal, and you might have it there, that the other states that aren't on the ocean were going to help supplement California for
It's not
doing
in
the
this
desal.
program. It's not. And I have heard that there has been talks about that.
Right.
But apparently it's all broke down. They've tried for 3 years to come up with a plan so the federal government doesn't get involved.
Right.
See, the last thing you want to do, particularly if you're Maricopa County, is get the federal government involved because they're going to go to the treaties.
Right.
And you know what the treaty says? You know who's at the bottom end? I lose my water first?
Maricopa County.
Maricopa County,
Right.
the Salt River Project. They're the last one on the whole line and the most populous. And they've done that on purpose. I mean, every business wants to grow. But for them, it's a lifeline because I've got the most political situation. You can't starve families of water.
Right.
So it puts them in a power position where they salivate looking at Yuma where, we just shut down some farms. Because farming takes 70% of the water that comes into Arizona. Did you know that?
I know it's a lot. Yeah.
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 Which, I'm thankful that we have farming and food.
Yeah. Well, the other thing too is the farmers here are like, well, just tell these cities to stop, like, they're pumping water into these ground aquifers to try to refill these aquifers to save the water for later.
Future,
and
yeah.
the farmers here are saying, knock that off.
Stop the hoarding during the
stop-
drought.
Yeah, stop hoarding.
Yeah.
Stop hoarding water.
Yeah.
And so Salt River Project and all of them are behind that.
Well, and they're the ones that are the most vulnerable according to contracts. Not the most vulnerable according to political power.
Right.
And I think it's recognized in Yuma because when they do get together and make deals amongst themselves, Yuma has given up some stuff when they don't necessarily have to according to the age of the contracts and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And I know I've talked to the water guys before and said, yeah, we're the strongest in the nation, but there could be a guy upstream with a shovel that says, sue me. And it'll be in court forever while you're out of water.
Right.
Well,
And there's obviously they talked about the senior water rights, priority 1, priority 2, 3,
Right.
4. Yeah.
and a lot of the water rights in there in Yuma are before we were a state.
right.
There was-
And that's why we have senior water rights because
Yes.
yeah.
Yeah, we were first in line, and that used to mean a lot. But we don't know what's going to happen yet. But let me see. The plan sets limits on the fifth longest river in the United States would operate, and the water shortages of up to 3 million acre feet per year in the river supplies the 3 lower basins, about 40% reduction from current levels, which is devastating. They're talking like how much we're going to have to reduce, and it wouldn't necessarily be us, but it would be the state of Arizona. We can't have Phoenix out of water. But I don't know what it's going to take, and I've been on the radio for 20 years or better, and the drought has been here during that whole time. And I keep asking, why aren't we doing big programs like desalination? Like, the reason we exist today is because of big programs.
Yeah. Well, and we have a huge water mound by the mesa, but it's salty.
Yeah.
We have to go through desal. So there's a lot of water there. It's just can't be used because it's too salty.
But now that the desalination process has become much more favorable, but it's still a big nut to build them.
Yeah.
But Israel has showed us a way. They took a country that was completely arid, and now they sell water.
Yeah. Yeah.
And why we don't do it is beyond me. Katie Hobbs said she hoped federal guidelines for 27-28 expected to be released soon would be consistent with the May 1st plan and spare her state from draconian water cutbacks. I think that's wishing. That's hope. But according to the contracts and the way they exist, it's going to be draconian to the Phoenix area.
Yes.
Salt River Project.
Yep.
And of course, they're going to all look to Yuma and say, well, we're in real trouble. Give us your water and we'll buy it or something. I don't know. What would go on after that. Those kinds of negotiations. The upper basin states have refused to take mandatory cuts, with Utah saying it already faces a 50% supply reduction from the drought. The Utah negotiator, Gene Shawcroft, said, "We get cuts from Mother Nature every year." So he doesn't want to give up anything.
Yeah.
And
Well,
since
and that's the problem.
yeah, so if you try to work it out, you may not like what the federal government says.
Yeah. Well, the other
They
thing
may
too
have to jump in.
is California, because of that, what is that, smelt or whatever, lets like half of their water, fresh water, go into the ocean.
Yeah.
They just let it run off.
Yeah, they do. They've been doing that forever.
Yeah, and they were supposed to have built all these water retention basins to store water, and they haven't built a single one.
When you say supposed to build, there was a thing on the ballot
Yes.
to donate. I mean, to raise taxes, to put money into these for the future, so we don't run out of water.
Right.
And the governor took the money and diverted it to actually destroy a couple of them,
Right.
and never built one.
Yes.
And then take a lot of money for a train that never was built,
Yeah, billions.
billions, and take federal money for it.
Yeah.
I know. Is there a worse run state? Minnesota?
Yeah, I don't know. It's hard. It's hard
Yeah,
to
they'd
say.
come up with the worst run states. I don't know, the ones
Yeah,
that,
wow. Minnesota and California are definitely like in
that
the
do
top,
damage to
top
themselves
two.
like constantly.
Yeah, they're definitely in the top two
Because
worst states, worst run states in the country.
is it that California was so wealthy and rolling along with entrepreneurism and stuff that was so great, since the gold rush and stuff, and they just created wealth, created wealth, created wealth. They just take it for granted. And they started getting woke and say, well, we need more money for the woke, more money for the woke, more money for the woke and the fraud. And they dried it up, and the people started, and they're leaving.
Yeah.
And they still don't care.
Well, they've been, I don't know when the voters are going to cut them off, but they pretty much just raise taxes and continue to raise taxes, and the voters vote for it. And yeah.
And then they look for a rational reason as to why it's happening. It's the wealthy. They're greedy and they don't pay their fair share, which is crazy. They've been what's keeping you afloat.
Yeah. You know what's going to be interesting in this with so California is so far left that they're almost gone.
They're socialists.
But Minnesota, the House and Senate, at the State House and State Senate, it's only a 1-seat majority. 1 seat. And
What are they waiting on?
And of course, the whole state, everybody in the state now hates Walz and Ellison. And so there may be a chance that Minnesota can recover. I think California is probably too far gone, but in the next election, there might be a chance that Minnesota could flop that 1 seat and reverse it. And if they get Republican Mike Lindell is running, and right now he's ahead.
Is he really?
He is. He's ahead.
Is he going to change the pillows everywhere?
I don't
I'm
know.
going to get in because we need better pillows.
Yeah. I don't know, but that's a guy that is a former drug addict.
Yeah,
who turned
yeah.
himself around, became a.
He wrote a book about it.
Yeah, and so Minnesota might be able to save themselves, but I think California is too far gone.
If Lindell gets to be governor,
Yeah.
there will be some changes.
Yeah. Well, and especially if they can flip 1 seat in the House and 1 seat in the
Give him some
Senate.
support.
Yeah, they could change all this crap in Minnesota fast.
Well, if they do, the immigrants may be looking for another home, so these states have an opportunity to get some. Somalia is inbound.
Yeah.
If you could say, look, we'll take care of you. You can fraud our state. We don't care.
Yeah. Well, that's
Maybe they'll leave.
yeah. That would be the hope that they leave, because like St. Cloud and Minneapolis and somewhat Rochester, but St. Cloud and Minneapolis are just lost to the Somalis.
Elon Omar talks so colorfully about how wonderful Somalia is, and she considers herself a Somalia citizen.
Okay, I've been to Somalia.
Yeah.
Right. There
You
ain't
didn't see it.
nothing. There
didn't
ain't
see it.
nothing that's wonderful in that country. There's nothing there.
Well, they got a lot of Minnesota money now.
Yeah.
Maybe they've done something. Maybe it looks like Dubai.
Yeah, I don't think so. But anyway.
This article goes on to say that Arizona is going to be the hardest hit. the Phoenix metropolitan area and Tucson, they combine population of 6 million, rely heavily on Colorado River, and that's Salt River Project. And they are full in on that. And I don't remember the history, but the Salt River Project was one of the last ones to come along, and they signed these deals in order to get in on the water.
Yep.
And they signed it over and say, look, we'll take the last place. If we ever run out of water, we'll run out first in Salt River Project. I mean, they eyes wide open, and yet why, with 6 million people relying on it and knowing that they're vulnerable, were they not working on desalination or plans of strengthening? It sounds like the only thing they worked on was hoarding.
Yes, and they've done a pretty good job of hoarding water in these underground aquifers and stuff. Yeah.
And when I was county supervisor and going to a lot of the water meetings and stuff and talking to a lot of the farmers and the people who've been in the water industry, they used to just flat tell people in Yuma, we're going to get you water. I mean, they were just arrogant about it. We're going to get you water.
Yeah.
You know, they were going to put the farmers out of business.
Yeah, that was their plan. Yes.
It hasn't happened yet, but we don't need to be coy about it or anything. We need to realize that they're still fighting for that. That's still on their on their wish list. Imagine they're surprised it hasn't happened yet, because I know they were saying that 20 years ago. We're going to get you water.
Wade Noble always runs around saying, yeah, whiskey's for drinking, water's for fighting.
Yeah. He stole it
Yeah.
from Samuel
Oh, he
Clemens.
didn't come up with that?
That was him. Yeah, Mark Twain used to.
Yeah. Is that who came? That was
That
the
was a
original
Mark
one?
Twain thing, I think.
Yeah.
If I got that wrong, let me know. But I think it was Mark Twain. Tom Blanche, he's up. He's the acting,
Yeah.
and he wants to be attorney general, and Trump wants him to be attorney general. And I like him from what I've seen so far.
Yep.
But the confirmation in the Senate is not working out, because we got guys like John Cochran that hate Trump and Tom Tillis in there.
Cornyn and Tillis, yeah.
Yeah, or not Cochran, Cornyn.
Cornyn,
I'm thinking of Cochran down in Texas.
Yeah. She's gone now, too, so that's good.
Or
Yeah.
Crockett, yeah. She will be. She's still hanging around, but she's on her way out.
Yeah. Well, that's
Same with Cornyn.
Cornyn and Tillis I think Tillis is out, too.
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
And they've got Trump derangements in them as much as any CNN guest host,
they're bitter because Trump endorsed their opponent.
Yeah, well, and the reason he did that is because they were giving Trump a hard time on everything anyway.
Yes, they were.
And they thought, Trump is here temporarily, I'm here forever.
Yeah.
They were wrong.
Yeah.
Trump proved them wrong.
Yeah.
Now, Trump may be gone in a couple of years.
But I heard Blanche made an agreement with Cornyn and Tillis.
Yeah, with the devils. No, I don't want to kind of say they're devils, but it was over that $1.8 billion that Trump set aside as a anti-weaponization fund.
Right.
Realizing how many people that the Biden administration falsely persecuted, prosecuted, including the J6 people.
Yep.
That really had nothing to do with insurrection, didn't know what insurrection, couldn't spell insurrection.
Yeah.
And they were trying to make political points and all that. And these people were put through hell. And he was putting a fund together for some of that. And Cornyn and Tillis are against it. They hate Trump. They say J6 is his fault, which is, if you really read the history on it, it can't be Trump.
Yeah. Well, and we still haven't really got an answer.
No,
on
and
these
I don't know why.
These embedded FBI agents and what they were doing. And
Like 100 of them or so. I forget how many.
Yeah.
And it took us forever to figure out how many. They wouldn't tell us. They lied to us.
Well, they had informants and they had embedded FBI agents. And we haven't.
They
got
had
a good
assets.
answer.
And they asked the question, did you have agents? They said, no. Well, they weren't. They were agent. I mean, they were working for them. Their assets.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it was just a semantics game. Branch met with the senators. They were, who was demanding terminating the fund. and clarifying that tax-related protections in the settlement apply only retroactively and do not cover future tax filings. The fund never became operational. No members were appointed. No money was transferred. No claims process was established. No payments were made, according to the Justice Department. So while the fund, in theory, was set up, it was never activated at all. And Cornyn and Tillis want it gone, and that's the only way they're going to get Blanche in. And I guess Blanche, he says, my team and I have met with committee members and senators over the past several weeks. We addressed any concerns or outstanding questions. We have enjoyed good faith discussions and as a result issue the following order and update with regard to the May IRS settlement. The department always welcomes and appreciates productive engagement with all members of Congress. And he formally rescinded the May 18th directive establishing the fund and clarifying that tax-related protections in a settlement apply only retroactively, not to future filings. And that's something that Cornyn and Tillis has sought.
Yeah.
And they sought the commitment in writing, which is smart after what Obama did to the people he made commitments to.
Yeah. Oh, I know.
You know, he lied to a lot of people. Fellow Democrats that were not going along with Obamacare.
Right.
So he made all these commitments to them and reneged on every single one of them.
Yeah. Yeah.
How does he not get chewed up by his own party by that?
Well,
It's whatever it takes, I guess.
it's like,
Ends justifies the means.
you like your insurance, keep your insurance. You like your doctor, you keep your doctor, of course. And
You're going to save $2,500 per family average on this new program.
And of course, it's costs have skyrocketed.
It made a lot of companies rich, though,
It did.
because all the business was funneled to a few companies.
Yep, because the money was going to insurance, not to
People.
take care of people. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Tillis, they sought the commitment in writing and made concerns that the fund could be revived, particularly as Trump continued to publicly support the idea. Lawmakers had also raised concerns that people convicted in connection with the J6 Capitol riot would be eligible for payments, which they should be. Those were some of the egregious things where, you know, you have on video people walking behind the velvet rope after invited in by the cops get arrested for insurrection,
Yeah.
which is just nuts.
Well, to me, what was really nuts is they were put away in jail without bail or parole.
Or
you
due
know?
process.
Yeah.
The left claims due process for these illegals that do get due process, but not enough due process to
Yeah,
them.
and I think if I remember right, some spent like a couple of years in jail and
Absolutely.
never had a trial.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. And some of that solitary confinement, I mean, just horrible conditions. And the way they got away with that, it was in a certain area in Washington or something where they had control of it.
Yeah.
You know, which is really crazy. According to Cornyn spokesman, Senator Cornyn has reached an agreement with the Department of Justice, which will be issuing a formal order permanently terminating the Anti-Weaponization Fund and making clear it is a binding written document that the scope of the audit settlement is limited to only the plaintiffs, including the president and the IRS.
Yeah.
They want it so badly. And I guess if they make it in a written document and all that, Cornyn's of the assumption it can never come back. It can always be a
Sure. Have a different name.
different name. It doesn't mean now whether that ever happens or not, it may not. I have no idea, but I don't trust everything that's new.
Yeah. Yeah. All you have to do is change the name, and instead of 1.6, you can do 1.4 or something. I don't know. But you know, the thought behind that was actually pretty good because these people had been put away with, like we said, due process, so having the money appropriated there for these lawsuits, and, you know, I haven't seen class action lawsuit yet, but I got a feeling that would be coming for these people that were put away with no trial. See, there's one of the J6 guys for you.
Oh yeah,
Sharp.
you like him?
Yeah, I
It's
do.
a guy with horns on his head.
Yeah, the shaman.
Shaman.
Yeah, he's actually was a Navy. He's a sailor.
And he
was a
really did get
sailor.
railroaded.
He did.
You know, when the video came out on what he said and did during that, and he was praying for the police officers and all that,
Yeah.
it shocked the people because they saw him as he was labeled as a violent terrorist.
Yeah.
He's not.
Yeah.
He's
Right.
he's a wacko.
Yeah, you didn't see it, but I showed Russ a picture of myself and the shaman that was arrested.
I didn't even
on
know you were there at
January
J6.
6th.
They should have investigated you. Yeah, we should. Too bad Biden's gone. We'd have you investigated real
Yeah,
quick.
there we go. Yeah, but he's a Navy sailor. Well, that's
Well, that
what he
explains
was. Yeah, exactly.
The one of my listeners says that Amy Klobuchar is leading the polls in Minnesota.
I know it was
Maybe on
within
the
the
Democrat side.
within the margin, but yeah, maybe she has. I mean, it's
Well, I just brought it up, and the latest poll shows Mike Lindell's 35% boosted following an endorsement from Donald Trump. He's up from 27%. And that might just be on the GOP side.
that's primary. Yeah.
Yeah. Hypothetical general matchups polling. showed that-
Klobuchar is going to be hard to beat, though. Her dad was Amy Klobuchar's dad. Jim Klobuchar was big for sports writer for Minnesota and very well known, very well respected, and so she came to fame off of her dad, not on anything she did.
Well, they did a hypothetical on a Republican versus a Democrat. Republican candidate leading the Republican candidate leads with 49 to 41, with 9% undecided, and that was in a hypothetical. But registered voter surveys tested statewide, such as Amy Klobuchar running across presidential, they showed leading margins. So it doesn't say by how much.
Yeah, well, and that's and Minnesota's like most states. The rural areas are all conservative Republican, and then like St. Cloud, Minneapolis, St. Paul, and Rochester are Democrat. Like most states.
Okay, it says here Klobuchar leads by 11 percentage points with 14% of votes undecided. If she were to get it, and that's generic. It's still you don't know who the candidate's going to be, if it's going to be Lindell or whatever.
Yeah.
So it's too early. I mean, but this gives some insight, but it's still a little early.
Right.
I didn't know until I started looking at Susan Collins. Susan Collins in Maine, she's been elected 3 times. At no time has she ever been ahead in the polls.
Yeah. I know. She was down by 9 or something, and wins
and
by
wins.
11 or
Yeah,
something.
yeah,
like that.
I don't know how I don't know how she does that.
Well, they the polls are notorious for oversampling Democrats to try to
Yes.
My take on it, it's to try to influence the turnout. So it's like, oh, we don't have a chance. We're not going to go vote. I think that's what the polls, some of the pollsters do, sample Dems, so hopefully they can unmotivate Republicans to show up.
They did do a poll of just Klobuchar and Lindell, and it showed Klobuchar at 53, Lindell at 36, with someone else at 1% and 11% undecided. But that's early on, where Mike is still in a fight amongst other Republicans.
Yep.
And see, Andy Biggs and Hobbs was the same way.
So and people need to know what this election in Arizona is about. So we have a census coming up in 2030. We also have the redistricting that's going to happen, and then there are also 3 seats on the Supreme Court, which are probably going to turn over in the next governor's term. So this governor election here in Arizona is a big one.
Yeah.
It's really big, because if
Well, Turning Point's going to put a lot into it. Musk is going to put a lot into it.
Yeah. But, I mean, the next governor is probably going to appoint 3 Supreme Court justices, so it could flip the court from where it's at now.
Yeah.
So, yeah, and the redistricting and all, what can happen underneath redistricting and stuff. So, in the census, so it's really important.
Well, that means the Democrats going to probably put a lot of money into it. Now, how much do they have in the bank?
They're in the hole.
Oh,
they took
okay.
out a $15 million loan against their headquarters.
They're sending like a couple billion upside down, really.
Wow, that's because USAID is
It's
not,
gone.
not funding them.
You're not
Their
wrong. I
source-
wish I.
their source of campaign.
We just
funds.
ran out of time. It's already 9:00. Can you believe that?
Yeah,
That means we got to go to work, or at least I do. I don't know what you're doing, but I'm going to work.
honeydews.
Yes, thanks for coming. I'll be back tomorrow. Mortgage One Studios with Russ Clark.